Welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm invoking Law 7 of the,
oh, God.
The right for leadership.
The right for leadership.
Yeah.
And
Against who? Against me?
And I'm here with co-hosts.
Stan Warren.
And Watson Bradshaw. I'm not the leader of nothing.
And I'm the postman, Chad Cook.
Chad is bringing up The Postman because we were just talking about it before we started the podcast, and he loves that movie. And
it's a great movie.
It's pretty much universally hated.
I mean,
but except of course Chad likes it.
Because don't you like mail? Don't you like receiving things in the mail?
And no, because they're mostly bills.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
I mean,
so
maybe you're
impartial.
just making the wrong friends, buddy. Yeah,
sure, yeah.
My insurance company loves me.
I'm sure they do.
Oh my God, Chad, thank you so much.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
They're like, here's $5. They're like, oh man, what dividend?
Oh,
thank you
for being a safe driver.
Yeah, because I'm so good.
The podcast brought for you by Chad's insurance company. And we have a guest with us today, Julie. Hi, say hi, Julie.
Hi, everyone.
Julie McGuire. Julie is my girlfriend, and she wanted to come on to talk about one of the first topics that we're going to hit tonight. And she's zooming in. And we're going to talk about Hellmouth Con, which was the Buffy convention, Buffy the Vampire Slayer convention that we went to a little while ago. And Julie and I are both big fans of the show, and we just wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to bring in Julie to talk about her experiences.
Was this last weekend?
This was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, It was at they actually held it at Torrance High School, where they filmed the outside scenes of her high school years.
Oh, nice.
And the inside scenes were set obviously on the Warner Brothers lot, as most of the show was filmed on the Warner Brothers lot on set. But the high school and some of the outside shots of her house, which is in Pasadena, I believe, or Altadena, were actually physical locations. Yeah. But Torrance is the one they use. Torrance High School is the one in Torrance, California, is the one that they use the most. So they apparently this was like their second or third year, right, Julie? That they had this.
I think they've done it in different locations, but I think this was the first time they did it at the high school, because I believe even the panelists were even telling us it was like their first time at the high school since filming.
Oh wow!
Right. Yeah, so they had a couple panelists on from the show itself. They had the actress that played Mrs. Calendar, one of the
what's her name?
Yeah,
oh man, I'm gonna lose my street cred. No, I met her. She's amazing.
Carpenter?
Yeah,
isn't it like something Carpenter?
Yeah, Robbie Scott.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Robbie Scott. My bad. Yeah. So they had Robbie Scott on there. They had.
She worked with Prince.
Really?
Yeah, she was. I forgot if it was Diamond or Pearl, like one of the two.
In the Purple Rain.
Yeah, like she was.
She did.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Purple Rain.
I don't know if she was in Purple Rain or was post that, but she was like part of Prince's entourage for years.
What?
Damn.
Yeah, when we met her, I met her at like Whedon Con years ago, and we were chatting away.
That'd be cool if she was in the famous basketball game with Charlie Murphy.
Probably.
I didn't know that she was on Purple Rain. That's awesome.
Were some of your favorite characters there, or like your favorite character?
I mean, so with the biggest, I guess name they had there, for lack of a better term, was Juliet Landau.
Oh,
she played Drusilla.
Yeah.
So she was there. Julie Benz, who played Darla, was there.
Oh wow.
And these are some of the panelists that were. They had different. They had the actress who played Glory.
Cool.
They had the actual showrunner come on.
Oh, cool.
Who was not the show? He was a showrunner for Angel.
Was it what's his name?
But yeah, David Greenwald was there. He was a showrunner of Angel. But they would come on, they would do the panels, but they didn't necessarily have booths, but like Julie Benz, Juliet Landau, they had booths, so you can actually go up and take a picture with them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think you get something signed. Julie, you took a picture with somebody, right?
I took a picture with Juliet, and the one thing about Juliet was she actually took the time to really talk to every person that took a picture with her. It wasn't just take a picture and go on. Compared to her character on the show, she was a real doll.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
Yeah, no, she was really nice at one point. So she's doing a new podcast. She was there partially to promote a new podcast that she's doing, Slaying It with Juliet Landau.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's I guess she talks about the show itself.
Does she bring on guests from the show?
Yeah, I think she's
Okay.
I think she's only released one episode. It's kind of new, but she was promoting it there at the show. And it was really cool because she did her panel. She also did she does a recently launched she's part of a makeup line with Julie Benz, and it's supposed to be kind of like vampire themed.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch of promotional pictures of them doing that. And so she talked about the Slaying It podcast. She talked about her time on the show. She talked about her makeup line with Julie Benz. And then she had everybody like come crowd around the stage.
Oh.
And then she had people do reactions to Slaying It. Like, can you do an impression and come up here on stage with me? And then do a promotional bit for
cool.
Slaying It. So people are coming up and doing impressions of her. Like, listen to Slaying It with Juliet Landau. And one girl came up and was like, listen to Slaying It with Juliet Landau. And if you already subscribed, do it again. Do it again. Yeah. And so she kind of messed it up. So she walked off stage and Juliet Landau was like, no, come back. And now she come back, do it again. So awesome. What Drusilla used to say. So it was really fun. She seemed very nice, and she was talking to everybody, and she just seemed very personable. So,
yeah, and she's Hollywood royalty too. I mean, her dad's Martin Landau.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she grew up amongst in that crowd. I didn't know that she was. She first came out, I think, on the show in '97, and then she was like 32 at that point. I thought she was around her 20s when she first came on that show. Yeah, I just recently found that out. But what was your experiences at the convention, Julian? What do you? Give us a little bit of information on why you love the show so much and why you're a fan of it.
Well, to start out, I remember watching this show when I was just a kid in maybe middle school. It was one of my favorite shows, and my mom, who actually was part of LAPD at one point or another, she told me once that she got a call for Sarah Michelle Gellar, and that was when I was actively watching the show, and I just thought I was the coolest kid because my mom got to meet Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Nice.
So at one point, I brought up to Stan that it had been a while since I watched a show, and we decided to see who was a better fan. Don't get Stan started on that one. And I have to say, watching the show as a kid and then watch again as an adult is just, it's nostalgic. It brings back your childhood. It's the coolest thing. So at one point I noticed that there was an event called Hellmouth Con 2024, and the tickets are pretty pricey, $85 a pop.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
But the event staff gave military and first responders free tickets.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we got to go for free. We got to go super early before the rest of the crowd went in, and we got to walk around the school and just take everything in, see everyone else dressed up. There were some really cool people dressed up. There was someone that actually came and dressed up as a vampire.
Oh.
I mean,
She had like the face
really?
makeup.
That's cool.
Yeah. And the
Totally vamped out.
totally vamped out. She had the vampires on that show. They kind of get that like
their
animalistic
face.
kind of face.
Yeah.
She had that makeup. It looked really good.
Wow.
Like really good. And then somebody pointed out, how are you walking around on the date? And she had the ring that's in the show, the Daywalker ring. Yeah.
Nice.
So she actually pulled that out. She said, I got it on. Everybody's like, whoa! And they started clapping.
So you should have bleached your hair and gone a spike.
I should have, man. Yeah. I was expecting. I didn't see. Aside from that person, there of course there were a couple Buffys, like Julie kind of went as Buffy, Buffy-like clothing, but I didn't see too much cosplay. I was a little disappointed.
No one showed up as the one.
It was great.
Yeah, I didn't see any Spikes. I didn't see any Giles. It's kind of sad.
Giles would be good.
I think there was one Willow walking around. Mm-hmm. There was one Willow walking around, and then Julie took a picture as Buffy.
No werewolf for
no werewolf. They had the actual one of the booths had because they also had a like a vendors section in the gym. It's also where you could take pictures with the actors. And Mercedes McNabb was there too, who played Harmony on the show.
Oh yeah.
But one of the booths had you could take a picture with what I'm gonna take them at their word. They said that it was Oz's werewolf suit that he wore on the show, and they had like mounted on a mannequin.
Yeah.
It looked a little different in person, so
sure
I take their word for it.
I mean,
yeah, but I know it's old. It's
25 years old.
Yeah, exactly. You were gonna say something, Chad?
I was gonna say, did they have any of the like monsters of the week there? Like got people who played any of the creatures?
No.
Or
No, they had another guy who played. He played a one of the vampires, but he was kind of a small role on it. He was one of the panelists as well. I think he played Robbie or something. The guy that when he gets staked and before he dies, he goes whoa, and then he dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so those were the main panelists. Oh, and then they had the actress who was Buffy's roommate in college, who turned out to be like a demon.
Yeah.
She was there and she was on one of the panels.
So good.
What's that?
On the panel, she was amazing.
She was really good.
There was one point in the panel, and I mean, I recorded the whole thing, so it was awesome to get done recording. But at one point, all the girls are sitting on the couch together, and she stands up to kind of almost like play out a scene, and Julie Benz is sitting next to her, and so they start to kind of like do this little interaction together, and it's just really cool. But I think a lot of them were even describing how they were impressed with not how easily they got on the show, because obviously trying to get on the show is no easy feat, but I guess how much the casting liked their personalities for those specific characters.
nice.
Yeah, it was, and they talked about their time on the show, how they weren't really allowed to improvise a lot, but it's TV, so they can't do that a lot.
Yeah.
They said that they had like offered 900 tickets and they were completely sold out.
Oh wow.
So it was a good amount of people that showed up.
I was about to ask it. Was it pretty popular, but sold out? Is a
Yeah.
good sign.
Yeah, it was looks like it was kind of like put on by a group of volunteers that kind of are fans of the show themselves.
Was there an actual Hellmouth present?
I wish there was. That would have been dope. No, but there was you could do a different photo shoot in the courtyard. So, like I said, most of the shooting that they did for the show was on set.
Yeah.
But they used the high school for some of the outdoor, like in the first 3 seasons.
shots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was the way that the school is laid out. It's kind of layered. So where they had the graduation and where the mayor turns into the snake, and then they run down the stairs to fight. The students run down the stairs to fight the vampires that are coming. That's actually part of the school, and that leads up to that courtyard where they always hang out, like during lunch or recess or whatever. And you could take pictures with like Juliet Landau there, with Julie Benz. I think you could take a picture with her, Mercedes McNabb.
Is the library there?
No, that was a set.
That's a set.
That was a
yeah,
set?
it's a set.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
But they actually did have the school open itself, so you could pretty much wander through the school.
hallways. Oh, nice.
And then another iconic shot of the TV show is where Angel kills Mrs. Calendar or Miss Calendar, and it's that window it's actually inside the school, and so people were taking pictures there posing.
That's cool.
And, yeah, so that's but the actual interior layout of the school is not at all what it looks like on the set.
Of course.
So yeah. But it's a beautiful school. It was built back in like the 30s. It's got this like very gorgeous like Art Deco theme to it. It's a beautiful school. I was really impressed. Julie, what are some of the things about the show that really like you're a fan of? What is it about the show that pulled you in?
Well, I mean, even now rewatching the show, I mean, with all the shows you have on TV, there's just, one thing that you did mention was the fact that they couldn't go off script. And even a lot of the other characters were saying that Sarah Michelle was, she was so good at staying on script and doing her lines and just being perfect. But the fight scenes are just epic. There's no, I mean, you do see some parts when like the master, like the different enemies are coming out of like hell and everything, that you could tell that's not very real. But the fight scenes, the way that they have it laid out, I mean, you get so involved in it that it excites you.
It's a great staple of that show was I mean, the choreography that they did for like for a TV show at that point, and doing really top-notch choreography on the fights and everything. And the characters are amazing. Like, you know, who doesn't want to hang out with the Scooby Gang? You know?
No, yeah. I mean, was it Wes? Was that the name of the? He was. Oh my God, he was kind of like the nerd that he fell in love with, like kind of both of them. What's his name? I'm blanking on.
Who are you talking about?
Xander?
Xander. Sorry, not
yeah,
Wes.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought it was Wes something, but no, yeah, Xander. He was always the fun, goofy character.
Yeah. The funny thing about the fight scenes is that so Dagny Care who played Kathy on the show, who was Buffy's roommate in college, who turned out to be that demon.
The demon, yeah.
So they asked her about fighting choreography because she fights Buffy at one.
It's a huge.
Yeah, it's a huge fight. Yeah. And so she said that she had never actually done any kind of fight choreography at all.
Wow.
And the first time she had ever done it was that day on the set. And they're like, okay, we're gonna have a fight. And she's like, what do I do? I don't know. So she said that at one point she was told she had to backhand backhand Buffy, and so she's not a physical person as far as like fighting goes, but she does know how to dance. So what she did was like she demonstrated for us in the panel. She does this like very like dance like backhand, was like very graceful, And it's like that's what I did, and they're like, no, that's what are you doing? That's not
right.
So she had to kind of learn on the fly about how to do fight scenes itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
The actress who played Harmony, Glory, said that she was fighting Sarah Michelle Gellar's stunt double, and she actually connected with her and kind of knocked her out for a minute. And she kind of put a welt over her eye.
Oh, jeez.
And they're like, okay, you're definitely not doing any fight scenes with actually Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, no. But the actress she said the stunt double was fine, and they're actual trained like choreographers and martial artists and stunt people, so they can take a hit.
Did they keep that punch in the actual?
She didn't say that, but I'm almost positive they did.
Yeah.
because it looked that real. So.
Usually they do if like a mishap happens or something like that. So, but that's really cool that you evolve. Hopefully, it gets bigger and you get more cast members or like.
Yeah. Julie, would you go back again for like next year or?
Oh, 1,000%, 10,000%. I mean, the thing about this versus like Comic-Con or any other kind of nerd events, for better lack of words, is it was free to us. These things aren't free anymore.
Yeah.
But being a part of, kind of what Stan has said, going to Midsummer Scream and all these other things, the fandom is so happy and excited about where they're at that you could stand in line with someone or be going to an event with someone. I mean, we made a friend with someone there because we all have the same enjoyment of the show, and it's not just an enjoyment of, Star Wars, this bigger franchise. It's this tiny little show that we all knew as kids.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the vibe. I love the energy. I even did a couple of reels to promote slaying it, and looked like a goof doing it, but I loved it.
Yeah, we're like running through the school, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go listen to Slaying It. Come on!" Because Juliet Landau put out like, if you put out Slaying It stuff, make reels, I'll share them. So she has people to do it. So yeah, again, she seems like an awesome person. She was very on hands with the crowd, and So.
Is there anyone you're excited to possibly see next year? Like, is there a particular cast member, anyone that you would really want to see or meet?
I mean, I think everybody on the show, from Cordelia to Dawn, seeing, it was kind of cute, actually. There was a little girl that played Dawn. The only person I saw that played Dawn at the thing, and I got to take a picture with her and everything. But everyone has such a unique perspective of the show from their time on it, that not only would it be amazing, obviously, seeing, Charisma Carpenter or Nicholas Brendan or any of those people, anyone would be amazing to see. But I think, one thing I appreciate about the panelists and everything was, I mean, it wasn't like a huge event where, you found a spot, you hoped you could hear and stuff. They very much interacted with the crowd. They did not have that kind of Hollywood chip on their shoulder. They were very humble. And I think it's just appreciative of how many people truly appreciate, the work that they did. So I was just excited to talk to anyone who would be happy to talk about the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a fun event, and I would definitely do it again.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely do it again.
So if you do go again, who would you dress up as for?
If I could actually dress up
Yeah.
as somebody, I'd definitely go with Spike. Yeah,
Spike?
Yeah, because just to get the long. Like, I don't know about bleaching my hair, but yeah, probably like paint it somehow. You know, some temporary.
Nah, you gotta go platinum, baby.
Go full bleach.
Yeah.
Go full bleach. Yeah.
What about you, Julie?
I mean, I did try doing my own version of Sarah Michelle Gellar's Buffy. You know, I'm actually, while I'm watching the show again, I'm looking for some of the iconic outfits to go do it again.
She was looking for red pants, but wasn't able to find them.
I will say one of the coolest people there, they had a Ripper, and he even had the chocolate with him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, at one point Giles turns into the Ripper.
Yeah.
When he was like a young kid, along with Buffy's mom.
Yeah.
So there was an older couple who they said they were in their 60s, and they were dressed as them.
That's great.
Yeah, and remember in the show, Sarah Michelle Gellar's mom, I should say Buffy's mom, has like this kind of like black kind of coat with like these feathers that stick out of it, and so she had that exact coat. And he was like he had the packet of cigarettes in his shirt pocket. And he was handing out the chocolate bars that are on the show.
That's awesome.
It was just like it's like a Hershey's bar, but he had,
I love how specific that is.
Yeah, he had printed out some stickers and put the label over it, and he was like passing them out to people.
That's
it was
great.
awesome. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, Drusilla had some really awesome looks on the show. You know, she had those like very like white, long like summer dress kind of thing going, and that eerie vibe.
Yeah.
So like, I think if you guys did like Spike and Drew, that would be a good combo.
That'd be dope. The friend that we met, her name was Melissa, I think. She flew in from DC for the event.
Wow.
And she was wearing like a 17th century dress or 18th century dress. And it was supposed to be Buffy's dress from the Halloween episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where Buffy dresses up as like that aristocrat.
Yeah.
and then she gets turned into the actual aristocrat. She can't fight.
What they
what they dressed as. Yeah. So
she gave me her Mr. Pointy too. That was really nice.
Oh, that's right. She had a
I got
Mr.
to use
Pointy.
that for the day.
And then she had the Slayer weapon that you see in the last season. The axe with the spike at the end.
Yeah.
The stake at the end. Yeah. So she was carrying that
Faith
around.
would be a great
Faith be awesome,
costume as well. Yeah.
I thought I saw Faith there. I thought I saw Faith. Yeah. But you know, a lot of those characters, their clothes are so specific to the '90s. It's kind of difficult sometimes to differentiate between people. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I hope if they do it again, we definitely want to go. So
was there any cool merch booths, or was there was there a booth that sold like the actual steaks that they use? Maybe not the actual ones from the show, but at least like
recreation.
They all look the same. You know,
replicas.
In the show, all those steaks look.
I think that's a great idea, but no, they didn't.
Oh man!
I think we make a booth next year.
There you go.
There
we
we
call
go.
it. We call
do
it.
some foam injection steaks, like
There
little
you go.
foam, like Nerf steak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Chad, I'm actually glad you brought that up. You know, the gym they put up as a Sunnydale Mall, so it was kind of cool that they had different themes of different vendors. But I'll have to admit, I mean, there maybe were like 20 vendors or something. It was a very small setup as far as that goes. And I was kind of hoping for some more like Buffy themed merchandise to kind of
there wasn't a ton.
wear like everywhere. But
was this an official
I
event
got
though?
two Buffy coasters and a pair of earrings. So that's the closest thing I got to anything related to this show.
They had a Hellmouth Con 2024 poster that they made for the event itself.
Right.
Okay.
You know, it had the mayor as a snake, like kind of hovering over
that's cool.
the school, and they numbered, and they were individually numbered. There were only 115 of them.
I'm surprised they didn't put that like on a shirt or something like that.
Exactly.
You know?
We were talking about that, right, Julie? Like we were like, oh, we're hoping we'll get some cool Buffy shirts.
Yeah.
Nothing. No Buffy shirts. Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to find actual licensed merchandise for the show for some reason. It doesn't seem. I don't know who owns it. I imagine it's WB.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like, or maybe Josh Whedon still has rights. I don't know. But like, it doesn't seem like they license a lot of stuff for the show. A lot of stuff, like I'm wearing a shirt right now about the Gentleman, which is one of the episodes.
Best episodes.
Yeah. But it seems like it's all independent stuff or related to the comic book.
Yeah.
Somehow there's not a ton from the stuff from the show.
I mean, that's one of the things when the show is over 20 years old. It's hard to keep people wanting to buy stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
There was more Whedonverse stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot more.
Sure
There was a lot more Firefly stuff than there was Buffy
Firefly's
stuff.
one of those things, which is so funny to think it's a show that only had 10 episodes.
One season, right? Yeah.
Not even like half a season.
Really?
You get full.
Oh,
run.
That's right. Back in there, they made like 22 episodes. Yeah, back then. Yeah.
And
they got a movie.
I got a movie,
and
it's been it's still there's still like like you said, like Firefly
stuff everywhere. You can find
Firefly brown coats are everywhere.
Yeah. You can find more Firefly stuff than Buffy stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Was there any reference to the movie he did before the show, the Buffy movie?
None. People I think that people who were like fanatics of the show don't consider that canon.
No, and I completely get that.
Even though technically it kind of is because they mention it on the show. Like that's why she got kicked. Yeah, well, in the first episode, they said that's why she got kicked out of her first school because she burned down the gym. And she's like, "Well, there's full of vampires."
Yeah.
And was Donald Sutherland?
Donald Sutherland was her
watcher.
R.I.P. us. Yes, rest in peace. Yeah, but that was her first watcher. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Paul Rubens was in that show too. He played one of the vampires.
Well, like if Perry as well.
If if for some reason I was there at that one, I would probably not dress as Paul Rubin, but like at least I'd have a stake in my chest going, ugh.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I saw a post recently. It was the poster from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Everyone is dead except for
Paul Rubin.
No, he's dead too.
Oh.
Kristen Stewart. Not Kristen Stewart.
The lead.
Kristen Swanson.
Christy Swanson.
Yeah, she's the only one still alive from that movie poster. Luke
really?
Perry died.
Oh, shit. Right. Yeah, Donald Sutherland recently.
And Rutger Hauer.
Oh, you're right. Rutger Hauer. That's right. Oh, shit. You're right.
She's the last one.
Yeah. Well, and so the showrunner of Angel had come on, and he talked about, which is something that's known amongst fans, that movie was something that Joss Whedon has kind of like disavowed.
Yeah.
Because his screenplay was more akin to the show.
Yeah.
More serious with some lighthearted jokes. But then once the studio got it, they're like, "Oh, we're just going to turn this into like a teenage kind of comedy."
Well, and that's why he was so hands-on with the show.
Exactly.
Was like, you know, he wanted to make sure, like, you know, because they always say when something gets made, it gets written the first time, written when it's being made, and written in the edit.
Exactly.
So that's why he was like very much in control of every aspect.
Yeah, and the actor said that he was, he what was written on the page is what you had to say. There's no improvisation. Yeah. And Robia Scott at one point said, I was saying my line and I said before I said the word. He's like, oh, that was, and then Josh Whedon comes to me. He's like, oh, that was great, but just can leave the out and do it again. So she had an O, and he's like, no, take that out, So yeah, interesting. Any other thoughts on Hellmouth Con, Julie?
I mean, nothing I could think of. I would say I would like to see more vendors next time with more variety.
Yeah, seriously.
But for the first event, I mean, they didn't do a bad job, and like you said, the fact that we got to be there for the first initial event before it becomes huge, but also being a part of Juliet's pre-slaying it promotion, that was really cool, because I mean, I have a video of us all just standing there, with her, just getting into the vibe and really feeling it. So it was exciting, and probably one of my more favorite events I've been to, just because I have such a passion for this show. And I mean, I don't know many shows that can top my love for Buffy.
Well, maybe if you want to share that video with us, we can share it on Instagram.
Yeah,
we can promote it through our stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I for sure will do that. I think I actually did tag you guys, but I'll make sure I did that just so you guys can look at it.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, babe. I
don't call her babe, dude.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, excuse me. Don't cancel me.
He calls all the guests babe.
Yeah, everybody does. I call Chad babe all the time.
Go take out the trash.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. Bye, boys.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on.
Okay. Yeah, she just wanted to call in and talk about the Hellmouth Con. Yeah,
great event. Sounds good. I'm telling you, we should try getting a booth for next year.
I was, when we were there, when we were there was an open space and that they hadn't gotten. I was like, damn, I don't
make some money.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Doing what? Selling steaks?
Selling steaks and other probably non-sanctioned, Buffy paraphernalia.
Sure. Until we get a cease and desist. Sure.
Yeah. No, but like we'll put our faces on the characters. So it's just,
Sure, that's not. Yeah, that's fine.
no, it's not them. It's us.
No,
We're
Buff IE.
Buff
Buff
IE. But no, yeah, that'd be cool. But I think the stakes would be we each can have like a stake in our chest, and it just sounds like it's like get your stakes for any loose vampires on the campus.
There you go.
Don't
garlic. We just buy strings of garlic and sell that.
I mean,
that'll work.
Was that a thing in the show? Garlic?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Wow, making that up, Watson.
Well,
Yeah.
just, vampire stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's no like copyright on garlic.
On garlic, yeah, that we know of.
That's true. Unless
It's it's commonplace.
I forget what else killed vampires in that show. I don't remember.
Sunlight, cutting their head off.
Was holy water a thing?
Holy water's a
Holy
thing.
water's
Yeah,
a
holy,
thing.
crosses was the thing.
Holy
That
water?
hurt them.
We could sell some crosses.
Oh
and
yeah,
holy
we could
water.
put like the little sticker of holy water on water
Enter
bottles.
Enter the Nerdom holy water.
There you go.
There you go. That's not a bad idea.
And I'll dress as a priest.
Pen, pen, and pen, pen,
Oh,
and pen,
God.
pen.
I remember some of the Latin from church.
Yeah, sure.
Desperores cormiro, miro miro
I always wanted a bit of like,
Is that real?
like a priest
No.
coming up to
I
made
didn't think
that
so.
up.
I didn't
Yeah.
think so.
like I always wanted a vampire to be like, I'm Jewish. Like the priest wouldn't do anything to him or something, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, technically, when they become
they're demons.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
if we're going by
That's why they're
if we're going by Dracula 2000 rules, Judas was the first
Yeah.
vampire.
true. That's true.
So
I will say I love that aspect of the
I did.
movie.
That was interesting.
It
It
was a
was.
good twist.
It
That
was
was
interesting. Yeah.
I think that was the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Gerard
and
Butler.
one of the legends of the Bible is that Pontius Pilate was banished to live forever because he condemned Jesus Christ to death. Yeah. So
I always wondered, like, his last name being Pilate. I was like, is that why we call pilots in a plane pilot? This is...
well, no, it's spelled differently.
Oh, it's spelled different? How is
Yeah.
it spelled?
Pilate is Pilate, and Pilate is Pilate.
So I would pronounce that Pilat.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably how it's pronounced. But we
Hey,
just say Pontius
people from
Pilate.
long time ago, why don't you read right, okay?
How about speak American?
Yeah.
Speaking American, we are. Oh, and
I want to see the segue. I'm excited now. Speaking American.
speaking American,
Speaking of America.
The Boys is out.
that is
See?
a good segue.
Firecracker. Yes.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you caught up, Chad?
I'm not, but feel free to
Okay.
get into it.
The first 4 episodes are out.
Yes.
Fifth episode comes out on Friday.
Friday. Yep.
I'm loving this season.
It's pretty good so far, man.
I'm digging it.
I was a
man.
little worried in the beginning. I was like, oh no, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But they've brought it back. They brought it back.
And they have made the announcement the 5th season will be the final season.
Yeah.
And it does feel
Yeah.
like this is like the end game for this show.
I mean, in my opinion, I think it's gone on maybe a season longer than it should have. It
Yeah.
should have ended last season.
Yeah.
Because they've been kind of stretching things out to the point it's like, okay, this is getting kind of ridiculous now.
Well,
Yeah.
that spin-off show, does that lead into this season or the previous season?
The college one?
Yeah.
Into this season.
Into
Yeah,
this season?
into the season.
Okay.
Season
They
stuff.
mention it on one of the it's on a news clip.
Oh, okay.
in
Yeah,
one of the show-
yeah.
one of the
Like
episodes.
it doesn't. I don't think
It's
you
not a big
need
part of
to
it.
see
Okay.
it, but they're
It's not a huge part. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's
But
some
when I
stuff
saw
in
that
there.
news clip, I knew that was about that show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they mentioned the character from that, and
Yeah.
they're still missing or something.
the
okay.
7
and they
or
mentioned
not
the college
7.
campus. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do you think so far?
I mean, it's great. I think Anthony Starr
He's just
should
amazing,
get
dude.
an Emmy for this last episode.
Has he gotten any Emmys at all?
No.
What the fuck? He's so good.
He's
dude.
so good, and he has a scene in this latest episode. He goes back to the lab where he was created.
Oh, God, that's insane.
It runs
Yeah.
through the course of the episode, and the way he plays it, of like he comes in with like a cake. He's like super friendly, but
Yeah.
it's like a threat. Like everyone's scared. He has such great presence,
And
on the
he's
show.
more terrifying when he's trying to be nice.
Yeah,
Because you know it's like what's about to happen.
because it
He's
feels
about
like
to-
artificial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just right under the surface. He's ready to
Yeah.
snap.
and just his crazy manic laugh, and I mean, like just
It's just like the way he something
So
he does
good.
something with his face where he conveys he's smiling and he's looking
Right.
and then all of a sudden like at a turn his face just goes blank
Yeah.
and just looks
Just
completely
dead-eyed.
angry
Yeah.
and he's so good at that. And it's just like, how the fuck he looks like a serial killer, which is what he is on the show.
But then you see him in like real life doing interviews and stuff. He's the sweetest guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how good of an actor he is.
Yeah.
Do you does he still like talking in the mirror like he did?
Yes, we get a little bit more of that this season.
Yeah, exactly.
This season deals with. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I don't
it's
know
okay.
if we spoil stuff, but it's dealing with his mortality.
Yeah, because he's aging.
He's aging.
Oh, okay.
And he's trying to figure out what's the legacy he's going to leave for his son.
Gotcha.
And what's his next step? Because now he's fully in control of Vought. Like he is, the Seven is pretty much taken over, and he's like, okay, we need to fill up the ranks of Seven because they killed Black Noir last season. So it's like there's a new Black Noir.
His new Black,
which I love because they realize like no one knows who Black Noir is. They know actually his face, so he just gets another guy to put on the Black Noir suit.
Yeah, and he's constantly asking questions like, "What's my motivation?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "You don't say anything. Shut up." And
he's like, I live in because they make him live in Black Noir's apartment. He's like, it looks like a dojo, but this guy didn't know karate. Like, why am I? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then we get two new heroes. One is Firecracker, who's very much like an Alex Jones kind of character.
It's a combination of Alex Jones, but there's also like other right wing commentators out there.
Like her power is like nothing. Like she's like Jubilee.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. Yeah.
But they're like, no, you need her because she's a mouthpiece that like has the ear of a bunch of people, like your base.
Yeah.
And then there's what's her name? Sage.
Sister Sage.
Sister Sage, who is the smartest person on the planet. And like Homelander goes to her and she's already figured out like, oh, you're dyeing your hair twice a month versus what you used to do. Like you're aging. Like
it's like, oh, your hands look very dry. You must be washing them because you're in large prostate.
Yeah.
And you're going to the bathroom more.
And he's impressed because everyone else around him is just a yes man, scared to death of him.
Yeah.
And she's already figured out like, well, you need me. If you didn't need me, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
And like he keeps correcting her, going like, well, you're the smartest woman. And she's like, no, smartest person.
Yeah.
And because he still thinks he is the superior being.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's very interesting to see how it plays. And then, so Sister Sage is the one kind of manipulating, there's the Starlight movement that's going on with Starlight's group versus like the Homelander group. Yeah. And like, it's a very, obviously.
It's
not very veiled.
Homelander is very much Trump.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And very much this season is
exactly. It's very right left. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was on trial the first episode for murder because he murdered someone last season.
Who threw a milkshake at his kid or something.
Yeah. And he gets away with it basically.
Yeah, so it's it's still doing the political commentary.
Right.
I mean, I think that again, I think the show probably should have ended last season.
Right.
But it still kind of is. Anytime that you're dealing with the Homelander, whenever Homelander's on screen, or you've got the Starlight versus Firecracker, screen time.
Oh yeah.
Those are the two things that are compelling me. They also have like a side story of Kimiko.
Yeah.
Who is she comes from. I guess she was recruited by the Shining Path, terrorist organization.
She was stolen as a child,
right? So there's a side story of her. She finds a cell of them in the city. There is it New York?
Yeah,
and she starts killing them. That that wasn't as impressive.
Right.
I wasn't into that as much as like okay, whatever.
I was really into Frenchie's story though.
Frenchie's story is I don't remember them. So Frenchie now is bisexual, and he has a relationship with a guy who a couple years ago Frenchie killed his family, but the guy doesn't know that Frenchie killed his family.
Right.
But then Frenchie sleeps with him, and I was like, "What? This is kind
like
of
it's kind of like he wants redemption."
Yeah, but it's I don't know. It seemed out of character. I had never picked up that Frenchie was bi before. I don't remember.
I think they mentioned it a couple of seasons ago when they meet the Russian lady.
Right, that was his ex-wife or whatever.
That he used to work for.
Well, even in the beginning when he lived with the girl and the guy, it kind of implied.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but I don't know. It seemed out of character for Frenchie to kill this guy's, to know that he killed this guy's family, but then also have sex with him.
Right. Well, that's
But
why
not
he
tell
was
him.
like
I was like,
trying
what the
not
fuck?
because he kept trying to like not be with him. And he was like, it's complicated because Kamiko's the one
Right.
pushing him.
Yeah, Kamiko's.
She's like, look, I can't be with you. You should be happy. This guy Colin makes you happy, and he's like, look, it's not about you. It's complicated because I think like he's attracted to him, but he doesn't want to, make anything happen or.
I also found that kind of weird that they had veered away from their relationship from Kamiko and Frenchie. It's like, wait a minute, you spent 3 seasons building this up. Everybody wants to see it happen because they're such great characters and they're so good together. But then all of a sudden she's like, oh, it's okay, go fuck another person. I was like, what's happening? I don't know. It felt a little off.
Yeah,
it felt a little off. That they're just all of a sudden Frenchie's into this other dude and Kamiko is completely okay with it. It just felt very. I don't know. It doesn't. It just feels wonky. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I love now she can regenerate like Deadpool though.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't remember her having those powers.
No, her powers got a little boost because it was the first episode you see her lose an arm.
Yeah.
And then it grows like a little baby arm. Oh, really? And you're like, oh.
Yeah, she gets hit with a grenade in the torso, which tears her apart in 2.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And she regenerates.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she got a little power upgrade.
Yeah.
Starlight got a little upgrade.
Yeah, she can fly a little
now.
bit. Yeah.
Is Butcher doing anything interesting?
Butcher's great. So this season, so last season he was taking the Compound V.
Yeah.
And
find out he's got a tumor.
Him and not Dewey.
Huey.
Yeah.
Huey, Dewey, Louie. Yeah.
He took it.
He took it as well, yeah. And his power was able to teleport like Nightcrawler.
I remember that, but he didn't take it to the point where
he only took it a couple times. But Butcher was taking it all the time to fight Homelander.
So he's got, I think they give him 6 months to live.
Yeah.
And even Homelander, he meets Homelander because he wants to get Ryan away from Homelander.
Yeah.
And Homelander uses X-ray vision. He's like, ooh, you got a big old nasty black thing growing around your brainstem there, buddy. And so Butcher's on this borrowed time, and he find out that he actually did take Compound V again to try and cure himself, but it didn't work. But there's something going on with him. Right. So every now and then they'll show he has these headaches, and he's seeing visions of his dead wife.
Yeah, and he's talking to his wife.
Yeah, and then you see a little something squirming under his skin. Yeah. So it's I think he's got. Some powers are coming back.
I think so
too. I don't know. It's interesting though.
Yeah. There's a hilarious scene where Mother's Milk and Huey are spying on Homelander. Yeah. They're trying to bug a room between him and that.
Was the skating rink?
The skating rink.
Oh my god.
They're trying to. So one of the characters is running for vice president of the United States, and she's a head popper.
Oh, okay.
What's her last name?
Man.
Anyway, she's running with the guy who's running to be president knows that she's a soup, and he's trying to undermine her, but he can't get rid of her, obviously, because she can kill anybody at will. So he's working.
Want her to suspect anything.
Yeah, he's working with Mother's Milk. He's with his group and the CIA to try to kind of take her out.
Yeah,
but they can't just shoot her because they've tried that, and she just regenerates.
Yeah, she's super resilient to
acid. So the mind power isn't her only.
It's not the only one. Yeah, because at one point, Butcher actually shoots her point blank in the head, and she's just like, "Ow, what are you doing?"
Yeah. So, and then Huey throws a vial of acid in her face, and she's pissed because it burns her suit.
Yeah, she's like, "Are you serious? I have to be on camera in 30 minutes." Yeah. But yeah, he's trying. Mother and Hugh are trying to bug the room that she's meeting Homelander in this skating ring, and the skating ring, I guess actors troupe or whatever.
It's
they're doing this
the Seven on Ice or something.
Yeah, Seven on Ice, and it's the war on Christmas, bring back Christmas. Stop saying Happy Holidays, that kind of shit. That talking point that Fox always has every Christmas season, and But Homelander finds Huey up in the vents, and he tries to laser him, and he accidentally gets the actress on the snow.
Oh yeah, and
she's singing. She's in the middle of a song, skating around, and he cuts her in half. And I don't know why, but I lost it when I saw that.
Oh my god! And then everyone there panics, and it's just chaos.
It's chaos, dude.
And people are getting sliced by blades.
Yeah, with the blades, and a woman falls on the ice, and a guy skates over her hand.
Bloodbath.
Yeah, it's just a mess, dude. It's like that old school Bad Boys gore fest. You
Yeah.
know? Not Bad Boys, boys. Gore fest. We're gonna talk about Bad Boys. But yeah, it's last season it was good. I thought that.
I like the stuff with Soldier Boy last season.
Soldier Boy was really good, man.
I think he's
really
going to be
good.
back next season.
I think so too.
I think that's the end game plan for next.
It's really cool. They set that up that he's Homelander's father too, and he didn't. It was great. Yeah, it was really it was really well done. But have you noticed that the actor who plays Mother is he lost a lot of bulk?
Yeah,
is he okay?
So he was. I saw an interview with him because everyone's been like, "What the hell happened to him?" He dropped a lot of weight in between seasons. Like he dropped like 40 pounds,
like
something.
muscle.
Yeah,
like he was really bulky.
Yeah. So and then he shaved the beard.
Yeah,
and so everyone's like, "Did they recast this guy?" And it's like, no, he's the same guy. But
has he said what? Is he okay?
He said it was fine. He just for his own health, he had to drop down some weight.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, he's probably getting older, and he's in the gym all the time.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, but it's just funny because they kind of played it in the show because now he's like in charge of the group. Yeah. And you seem kind of stressed out, and they're like, "You're not sleeping, you're not eating." Right.
Yeah.
So they kind of make it work for the show.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense as if he's always stressed and he's always working.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to actually work out anymore.
Yeah.
So he's lost a lot of muscle, but I mean he's still really good, man. That actor's fucking killing it.
Yeah. And then they're trying to flip. Currently, they're trying to flip A-Train to be on their side.
Yes. Yeah. And A-Train's kind of developed a conscience.
He's like a double agent almost,
Yeah.
and even like him and Huey kind of
make amends
a little bit.
And what I like is that they've been building that up the last like 2 seasons, which Homelander's just awful to all the 7.
Oh yeah,
but especially A-Train.
Oh yeah,
you remember he gained a little bit of weight, and he's like, I could see your rolls on your costume. Get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah. So episode 1 this season, like they're having like a meeting of the 7, and everyone is just so scared of Homelander. Like everyone's agreeing with him, and he just like, "Hey Deep, go blow A-Train right now."
Yeah.
And Deep's like, "Oh, okay, it's cool, bro." And A-Train's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And it's because Homelander's just so sick and tired of everyone just agreeing, and then he's like, "Just get out of here, you guys."
Yeah. Go ahead.
I forget her name. She was the Wonder Woman character.
Maeve?
Maeve's not there.
She's not there?
I think it's implied she lost her powers.
Yeah, she got
because
depowered
she got blasted by.
Oh, you're right.
But then everyone thinks she died.
Yeah, which they should have killed her because how the fuck did she survive that fall? I kind of feel they didn't have the balls to kill that off that character, which they should have. That would have been a great sacrifice.
Well, I think any character they don't kill off, they're probably going to bring back for like a finality.
I mean, they veered away from the comic books. In the comics, everyone dies.
So I've heard. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Speaking of like stuff with Kimiko and Frenchie, like at this point in the comics, they're gone. Like,
really?
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Like everyone gets decimated.
Well, I heard that Homelander died. He's not a big part of the comic book series either.
No, he's the first, in the first arc kind of thing, and then he gets
killed too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Have they? Well, I mean, it's not a spoiler for me, but I don't know if you want. How does he die? Do you
I know.
So the comic book is Homelander. Is he
as powerful?
He's kind of the same sadistic character,
and he's still like Superman type, right?
Yeah, and he kind of says "fuck it," like how they keep saying that he wants love and admiration, right? Mm-hmm. That's his whole thing. So in the comic book, he kind of goes crazy and kills the president and decides, I'm going to take over and be president.
Oh.
And what you find out in the what they're not doing in the show, which was Black Noir in the comic book, actually was a clone of Homelander.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so he was the one doing all the depraved shit that they were pitting on Homelander. Because he looks just like him.
I see.
And then it's Black Noir who kills Homelander. Or
they fight
in the Oval Office.
Oval Office, yeah.
Oh, and then Butcher's the one that takes both of them out.
How does he take them out though?
Well, no, I think Homelander kills Black Noir, and then Homelander's so weak.
Yeah. At that point, in the books, all the boys have superpowers at that point. So like Huey has powers, Butcher has powers. Because they take like Compound V as well, and Butcher puts a crowbar through Homelander's head.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's kind of anticlimactic, I guess. Yeah. Okay, well.
But if he's not such a big part, it's
right.
Not that.
And then Huey ends up killing Butcher in the book as well.
Oh, so. Really?
Yeah. Man,
shit.
It's a bloodbath.
Ah, fuck, man. They might do that in this. Yeah. Fuck. All right. Well, Yeah, they've kind of got after the. I like the third season a lot, but I was like, oh, this is I don't like it when we get a really good show and they kind of continue to stretch it out.
Yeah,
unnecessarily. Stranger Things, anybody?
That's why I kind of love that they were like this last fifth season, final season.
Good.
Cutting
I hope
it
so.
off. Yeah.
I mean, that's because it's like, again, it should have gotten 3 or 4 seasons,
Right.
and that's it. You know, like.
But I get like if you kill Homelander, this show is kind of gonna end.
Yeah.
Like, you
Right.
know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like,
yeah.
so
Well, he's the main. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big bad. Yeah.
So yeah,
that
I
makes
feel
sense.
like if they try to like extend it and like, oh, here's a new Homelander kind of character,
Yeah.
like it's not gonna
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good. Yeah, I'm excited for the season and hope it keeps chugging along the way it is because
Yep.
it's really good so far. And speaking of boys, we someone here watched Bad Boys 2.
Well, not Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys Ride or Die.
Which is Bad Boys 4.
What did I
It's
say?
a
Bad
Bad
Boys
Boy-
2.
Yeah,
What am I talking about?
Hey, man,
Yeah.
I mean,
this isn't 2003 or whatever.
well, you
We
would think.
finally watched Bad Boys 2
Finally watched Bad Boys 2.
in preparation for Bad Boys.
Hey, you know, you
Ride
gotta get ready.
or Die.
But if anything, they should have named this one "Bad Boys for Life" instead.
It
Yes,
drives me
it's so
crazy.
good, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Everybody's made that joke where
Yeah.
it's just like, what? This is Bad Boys 3, but it's Bad Boys for Life, and then Bad Boys Ride or Die. So maybe they just didn't know they were gonna have a fourth one,
Right.
and then
That could be it. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see Bad Boys 3 until like 2 nights ago. And I asked my buddy who saw the movie, and I was like, should I see Bad Boys 3 before seeing 4? And he's
Yeah.
like, you kind of have to.
yeah.
And
I mean, technically, you don't because they kind of allude to
do they
the
kinda
things
do
that
a
happen in the
recap? Oh,
yeah
okay.
a little bit. Like they don't recap, but they'll in certain conversations you kind of get what happened.
Okay, because there's a lot of stuff with his son's character.
Yeah,
right?
mainly that's the main plot of the third
Yeah.
one. So that comes into play when they're
Mm-hmm.
talking about it and stuff. But all in all, I gotta say this one was lots of fun. I went in from the trailers. I wasn't really impressed for some reason. I don't know why. I was
no,
just like,
the
okay.
trailer wasn't great.
Maybe I was still upset at Will for slapping Chris Rock. I don't know.
Could be it too.
But like I was just like, no. But I went to see it with-
America's forgiving him. You can too.
I mean, well, it's a funny thing because
Yeah.
like seeing
Chris
the
Rock
movie.
hasn't.
I mean,
Shit.
well, yeah, he's probably not going to see Bad Boys. But it was so nice.
He's
to
not gonna see Bad Boys 2.
It was so nice to see Martin Lawrence on screen
Yeah.
again, and for some reason I just didn't remember a lot of 3, so I was like,
Yeah, me neither.
It was just like, okay, that was okay movie.
Yeah.
But like this one was a lot. Like there was inklings. It touched back. Like there was even references to the second movie and the first movie and stuff like that. So I think it was just nostalgia mixed with like, I don't know, like even the music. They brought back some of the music score from like the first one, and I was like, yes, this is what was missing from
Right.
the last one. And
Well, and this is directed by the 2 guys that did Batgirl.
yeah, oh
And-
yes.
And so I mean like, and I love those guys. They're like 2 Belgian guys. It was funny because they were asked if they wanted to do. They were supposed to do Beverly Hills Cop 4,
Oh really?
Oh, interesting.
and they turned that down to do Batgirl.
I did hear about this.
And
yes,
then they were like,
yes,
and we ended up
yeah,
not doing anything. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That sucks.
I think I would have liked to see their Beverly Hills Cop maybe because
Yeah.
like their names are Adil El Arabi and Bilal Fallah.
Yes.
Yeah, and they did a bang up job. Like you could tell the characters were older in personality. Like the movie starts with them on the way to Will Smith's
Wow.
wedding.
Is he marry Gabrielle Union?
No. It's
That'd be great.
it's a
Yeah.
completely
That was
new,
the second one.
yeah. But they even allude to. I mean, they even talk about like
Sister man.
Martin goes like, you should have told me that you were into it because like I guess it didn't go well at the end for their relationship. But he's marrying this new girl.
Is she the cop from the third one?
No.
Okay.
The cop from the third one. She's running the Bad Boys.
Ammo or something like that. Yeah.
TNT. Is it?
That was the original.
The team, right? Tactical Narcotics.
No,
Yeah.
it's called. I'm blanking on what they were called because now it was like because Joey Pants would always call them my bad boys. He would call them my bad. But I forget what they called their team exactly.
And the second one was TNT.
Yeah.
Second was TNT. Yeah.
Well, I don't remember what it was. I barely remember the third one.
Paola Nunez runs the group.
Yes. I think it was Ammo in the third one.
Oh, you're probably right.
I just watched it. So.
Yeah, it's...
That sounds familiar.
They're like detective SWAT.
They're
just all jumbled together.
It's just some time. Yeah.
Which, by the way, in that third one, when they killed Joey Pants...
Yeah.
I was like... It actually shocked me because it came out of nowhere.
No, I was... He was the only one. I was like, just don't kill Joey Pants, please.
Walking out of a baseball game or whatever.
Yeah, to his car. And it's like...
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
Right. Yeah. And like that bleeds into this new one as well. Because do you remember the actress from Better Call Saul, the blonde one that's
the lawyer, his girlfriend? Yeah,
his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. She's a U.S. Marshal in this one.
Oh, cool.
And she's the she's the daughter of Joey Pants' character.
Oh, okay.
And so when the plot's evolving and like, you know, she even says to Will Smith's character, is like, if I ever see your son like out on the street, like if he tries to escape jail, I'm gonna just shoot him, and because
his son,
his son killed her dad. In the third one.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
that's right. I forgot.
Getting confused.
Yeah, no, I mean, like if that I was glad they said that because I completely forgot that happened in the third one.
Yeah, so I barely remember the third one for some reason.
So, but yeah, there's a whole plot of Joey Pants being framed after death with cartel money going into like his bank accounts and things like that. And so pretty much they're trying to clear his name and they're following all these clues. Like he left a video. It's like, hey, if you're watching this, I'm probably dead. And it's like, I need you guys to clear my name. And so they're kind of rebelling against the police by, actually, as they're investigating, they get framed by the bad guy that they're, trying to free Will Smith's son. And also, like, killed a bunch of cops and stuff like that.
Real bad boys.
Yeah. And, but, I mean, like, there's lots of great moments. The set pieces are great. There's action sequences. Like, they've the way they promoted the movie, or, I mean, I guess, I don't know if there was clips online or what, but, like, there was action sequence where he would toss the gun and it would be the POV of the gun. And it would spin around
he's got the camera rig on his chest. Right, yeah. I saw the behind the scenes for that.
Yeah,
it looked pretty cool.
It was really cool.
And like the way he would flip the camera.
Yeah, and when it was POV with him holding the gun, it was almost like a video game, the sequence and stuff. And like the coloring was great. Everything was entertaining about that.
I've heard that scene is really amazing.
The villain, though, I would say, kind of lackluster. Like, I mean, he was badass.
I mean, all the villains are kind of lackluster on this series.
Well, no,
they're not standouts.
No, I'd say the first Fouché from the first
chemist
one.
Or whatever.
No, not the chemist.
Remember, he was like doing some kind of like drugs or something.
No, he murdered someone, and Tia Leone was the one who witnessed it.
Yeah, he was a French actor.
He's the
what's his name?
He's the French actor from Patriot. What's his name?
I know.
He was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's okay. I don't really remember. Like, I don't really remember his. Like, I thought he was like a drug dealer, wasn't he?
I mean, he was, I think, drugs and arms dealer type of thing.
Yeah, something like that.
But that didn't matter it was just he was more memorable with the lines he was given, and like his henchmen were memorable too.
Right.
And like,
I mean,
he had his moments where like everyone else had their like, one's a little angry, one's just kind of, I mean, they all had their little bland moments, but his, like, even at the end when in the first one when Will Smith is threatening to shoot him and he just puts his face up against it, goes like, do it, type of thing. I was like, yeah, that's memorable. I mean, in the
I mean,
so I would rank it like number one is the first one's still top. This one was that good where I'd say it's number 2.
Okay.
And then I'd go 2 and 3. And I really want to watch 3 one more time because maybe I put it above 2.
Gosh, I don't know.
But because in 2 is fun, but I only like
the Cuban guy.
2 parts.
Yeah, the Cuban dude, yeah.
Mainly the chase scene with the car loader dropping the cars on the street.
I remember that in the trailer.
Yeah, that was amazing. And just the concept of like road pirates. I was like, that's fucking awesome. So, I really like that. But like other than in the rest of the movie, because like right when they go to Cuba in 2, I was like, it's a completely different film.
It's a whole nother movie.
Like, what is going on?
Like, yeah.
So
they added another half an hour, but that was Michael Bay. So
they're outside of Guantanamo Bay.
But if you think about it,
I was like, okay.
If you think about it, it kind of works in the sense that it's like a segue for them to leave the United States, like in the third one, because they're going to don't they go to like Colombia or I forgot
in the
South
third
America?
one?
In the third one,
aren't they in South America? At
I
that
think
point?
they do go to.
They
South
go to
America,
Mexico.
Yeah,
or Mexico.
Yeah, to go to get the mother.
I think you need to slowly get them out of there because they're
Comfort
in Miami,
zone.
and then they got to expand. So maybe they should have left the Cuba part
way out of their jurisdiction.
No,
they're cops.
well, no,
they're not feds.
Yeah, feds couldn't do that.
Yeah. In 2, it wasn't a legit thing for them to go. They were like, "Well, I'm going anyway."
We're just going to murder a bunch of people in another country.
In Cuba, with the Cuban resistance, whatever that means.
Right.
And then, but I was like, it was a cool scene with the minefield at the end. With
where the mine spin up.
Like, so I was like, okay.
Those are called bouncing Betties.
Bouncing Betties.
It was a good way to kill the villain because he gets
right.
shot and then blown up.
And blown up. That's right. Yeah.
Like, he's not just enough.
I always wonder what happened to that actor because like I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff. I think he does.
He does
TV,
mostly
TV
Spanish
now,
stuff. Yeah.
Spanish
I think he does a lot of Spanish. I think he's Mexican. Yeah. I think
I love.
So he does a lot of Spanish roles.
In Blow with Johnny Depp. That was
he was
great.
in Blow. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't remember him in too many other things, but no, he's a good actor. It was just like
he wasn't in SWAT, was he? $100 million.
No,
that's a different guy.
That was a French actor.
Yeah, that's right. Remember that?
A different guy. Actually, that actor was from 24. He was the photographer in the first season that gets killed by the girl assassin on the plane.
Oh,
he takes his ID.
That's right.
And blows it up.
But
that's a little deep cut for you.
I remember that. I remember the plane up. And she parachutes out.
I was like, oh man, she just killed all those.
A ton of people. Yeah.
SWAT was
there's a little kid in there.
I would say SWAT. I will always remember because it was the first movie I ever walked out of. Like,
really? What are you talking about?
Wow,
Jeremy Renner? That was his breakthrough role?
First 15 minutes of that movie, I was like, this is terrible. And I walked out.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
You got LL Cool J. You got Michelle Rodriguez.
That's right. Yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to think of all the other people. Jeremy Renner. You got
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson.
I know. I couldn't get past the first bit where it was Renner and Farrell, and they're in the precinct at the beginning, and like Renner's quitting, I guess, and like what was his name was like Gamble.
Yeah, Gamble.
Like and I forgot what Colin Farrell's character's name was.
I don't know.
But it was just so cliche. Of just like he's a bad guy, he's Gamble, and like I was like, this is terrible dialogue, and I walked out.
It's it's not a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, no, because like
they wanted to turn that into a franchise like Bad Boys, and that never happened.
Well, because obviously it's based off a TV show.
Yeah.
And like I thought it was fun and campy in the sense that it's like, oh, okay, but the plot of it was almost like the Warriors because they're chasing them through the city. But then there's also because they'd offered money to other gangs in the city to stop them from following them. And I mean, there was fun sequences landing the plane on the bridge.
Yeah.
It had its moments.
The funny thing about I think the funniest thing about that movie is at the end.
Yeah.
When they're like in the desert, they're like in fucking Palmdale or some shit. And they get a call for something, and they're like, "Yeah, we've been on like 20 hours." It's like, and half their team is like fucked up and bandaged, and I think one person's in the hospital. And they're like, "Well, yeah, I guess we got to respond." And they still have like another hour drive to like. I was like, I think there's other SWAT teams.
Not in this world, man. Not in this world.
Oh yeah, Colin Farrell's character was named Jim Street.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's
Brian Gamble.
Brian Gamble.
Oh boy.
Come on. Hey. You know who else was named Gamble? Michael J. White in Dark Knight.
That's right.
So you can't say
that
name's
that's a good deep cut.
You can't say that name's dumb.
Wow. See, proved you wrong, Watson.
There you go.
Now you got to watch SWAT again.
Yeah.
Actually, you have to watch the whole movie because you didn't finish it.
That's right.
I still don't know what happened in the end.
And you got to give us a 1,000-word essay on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For next episode.
So Bad Boys, Ride or Die.
Yeah.
Do you recommend it?
I do indeed recommend it. If I think it's still in theaters, so
you
can check it out there or at home. Either or doesn't matter.
I'll go next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you also went to go see something else, Chad. You went to go see the latest Russell Crowe picture, The Exorcism.
Yes.
What did you think about that?
So, okay, there were obviously people have been confusing it. It's like, what is this? Another Pope's Exorcist
It's
film?
a little weird that he does.
I thought it was
two
a sequel.
exorcism
Yeah.
movies
And-
back to
And
back.
the problem is the poster is him doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
From the Pope's Exorcist. So, but no, this is a completely different movie.
He's like on the phone, like just give him the same shot. It don't fucking matter.
But
I'm
no,
not doing
no
post-work.
Italian accent or nothing like that.
Oh,
But
no Vespa.
no Vespa. Yeah.
I'm not
Gotta
watching
have Crow on a
I'm not
little
watching
Vespa.
But if I'm not mistaken, this movie was written and directed by I want to say his name is Jason Miller. He's the son of the young priest in The Exorcist.
Oh,
cool.
If I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me just pull up his name. Yeah, Joshua John Miller, and he's the son of some Anthony Miller, I think his name is, and he was the young priest. And pretty much in this movie, they're making The Exorcist in the movie. So this movie, like this director did The Final Girls, so that was very meta in itself and very but more comedic. This one is more serious tone, and it's like Russell Crowe's character. He's an outworked actor. He's been through they give him so much trauma. It's crazy because his wife died of cancer, and he's kind of on bad relationship terms with his daughter, who came back into his life after getting kicked out of school. So he's trying to deal with her, and also he's been an alcoholic. So it's
Russell Crowe. No, okay.
yeah. But and then also it's revealed.
JK, don't come after me. You scare me.
It's revealed in the plot that he was touched by priests when he was younger.
Jeez Louise.
So and then
this is a lot of backstory.
Yeah, and but it's not all thrown at you at once. It's kind of revealed as it goes. And don't get me wrong, the first two acts of this movie are pretty interesting because it goes on a psychological trip in the sense that he's dealing with all this and he's trying to come back and acting again. This is the only role he's like, I got to do this role. Although so
he gets hired to be in a horror movie.
Because in the beginning of the movie, I'm blanking on the actor's name, but if you remember Heroes, the older brother that was running for the Senate, I can pull up his name.
Pascar.
Adrian Pasdar. Yeah, he's practicing the roles on that's a
really
steel
good.
trap. You got a steel trap right there.
Pretty good. Yeah.
A little IMDb in my brain.
What do I have my phone at? But yeah, he's practicing the roles in the beginning, in the set of the house, it's because it's a built house set, and you could see, from the outside you see each layer and stuff, and he's on the top floor, or he's practicing actually walking in the front door, making his way up, and
so he's going over his blocking,
and as he's reading the script, the camera is doing what the camera's supposed to be.
That's kind of cool.
And I was like, this is pretty great.
That's kind of neat.
Very meta with that, and I really like that part of it, and but after he's reading his lines, and then the lights go out and you hear a voice and stuff, and then it goes black and he pretty much dies, and that's why Russell Crowe is being hired onto the film. And what's his name is the director of the movie, Adam Goldberg.
Oh,
he's playing the director, and he plays a douchebag pretty much because Russell Crowe's having trouble with the lines, he's not delivering it too well, and he's bringing up his trauma, oh yeah, you lost your wife and stuff, trying to and he's like, yeah, you were touched, as a kid, and and
trying to get him to emote.
To emote, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, jeez.
But and throughout the movie, you're people are wondering, oh, he's just a drunk, or he's drinking again, and this is why he's not acting well, or he's acting weird. His daughter suspects he's not taking his pills that he should be taking, and but she slowly, because everyone's heard the rumors about when you're doing this movie, weird things are happening. So she kind of witnesses it at home with him sleepwalking and he's not, but she thinks he's just blacking out again from his past. So it kind of slowly reveals to itself that this is not him being drunk. He's actually possessed.
Oh, interesting.
So there is a supernatural element.
There is a supernatural element to it. And they didn't have to go that route, which is interesting. So part of me, I was like, I wanted the supernatural, but the way they went about it was very cliche. Mm-hmm. Like, so the third act is just very by the number, like, okay, this is kind of boring.
Do they explain why? It's just because the atmosphere of that movie?
Cursed production?
Well, I think it's part of the cursed production, but it's because the demon in the story, it's called Malik, in the actual plot of the movie, is the one trying to come forth.
Oh, I see. So they're using real research.
Yeah, they're
okay.
like
okay.
So it becomes reality there.
Yeah, like he's like the demon has to sacrifice his children to bring forth Malik into this world or something like that. And Hayden Pierce, sorry. David Hyde Pierce.
Oh, Niles from Kramer.
Yes. He is the actual priest consultant they bring on set.
Interesting.
Okay.
And like Adam Goldberg even brings him and is like, hey, here you should talk to him to get more info on being more priest-like. And you could tell Russell Crowe doesn't like it, obviously, because he's had trauma with priests.
Not a fan.
Right.
Yeah, not a fan. And so I mean they really explore a lot of the psychological part of this, and like it's very interesting. The ending kind of is a bummer. It's just like, all right, it could have been better. But I really like.
Does he survive, Russell Crowe?
Yes, he survives. I thought he was going to die, like trying to save his kid from himself.
Right.
But the problem is, like, they do how The Exorcist, where David Hyde Pierce is like, getting me, jump at me, and then David Hyde Pierce is possessed, and then it's funny because they thought they like then finally Russell Crowe gets the ability to like perform those lines, like get out, and he's yelling the lines.
But he has no actual like church powers.
The thing is, because when he was I forgot to mention, when he was touched, he was an altar boy, so he has some religion. He just stopped believing after that, and he kind of had this cross that he found in his drawer in his trailer at a point, and so I think that has a personal attachment to it. They don't really explain too much, but he's using that, and it looks like he defeated David Hyde Pierce when he's possessed. But then David Hyde Pierce gets up and goes like, "You can't." And then he takes the cross and just stabs him in the fucking chin. And it's like, and then he pulls it out and just stabs him in the head, and then he catches it on fire. He's like, "Ah!" And so that's why it's just like, I
love that actually.
But no,
it's like, and Russell Crowe shoots him.
And at that point, I thought the camera was going to pull back and it was going to be like a movie.
In the movie, right?
But I was like, oh no, they didn't do that. And I was like, I would have loved it if they did that. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. But this was just like, all right, you got this dead priest now. How are you going to explain? Because no one else knows
what's happening.
But although there was a moment while they were filming on set where he was having trouble with this scene, Russell Crowe, and then Adam Goldberg yells at him, and then all of a sudden he walks downstairs to the bottom floor of that 3-level house, and he like stands in front of everybody and he bends backwards.
That's in the trailer, right?
Yeah, in the trailer.
And everybody's screaming and
people react scream, but they don't like think it's supernatural. Like it's weird that they are ignoring that part of it, because obviously the lead girl in the actual movie, and then the girl that's playing her daughter, and David Hyde Pierce are like, all right, something's wrong here. But everyone else is just like, oh, they think he's probably just drunk or something. Which is like, what?
Which is a contortionist.
Yeah, so, that's what whiskey does to you.
It was just a weird way of doing that. And I was like, how is no one... Like, I would have... Or I would have loved...
I guess that's kind of like a homage to the original Exorcist
like the party where she comes down.
The stairs.
Yeah. That's what I thought. But, like, I was just like, they could have done it differently. Like... Have the exorcism take place like as they were filming, like they were actually doing the deed or something. Because they also had this, so they had the house set, and then there was another room called the cold room, which was the bedroom that would happen in the Exorcist film. Right. And like it's this one little square with the bed and all the furniture in there, and the whole room is just made to be cold. And like that's where like the finale like took place, and I was like, oh, this is great. It's I just really like the meta-ness of it.
Yeah, and just a simple like here's a couple of sets that we can build. Yeah,
and it just fell apart at the end there. But other than that, and Russell Crowe, like his acting was superb. I've never seen him play like a weak character before. He was very like having timid and trouble and just apologizing and just.
Well, he's very intimidating as a person. As a body. So it's an interesting exercise.
And I think the weight also helped that in the performance, but like also he really delivered in that film.
So he kills David Hyde Pierce's character at the end, and that's how the movie ends.
Because like the movie doesn't get made. I forget if it rolls to credits or if it like something happens after and then they're like back at home,
right?
But they don't address like police or nothing gets addressed.
Right. Well, so
but the movie.
So his character went to prison at the end for murder
because before that happened, he murdered. He murdered Sam Worthington, possessed as Russell Crowe was possessed.
Right.
Sam Worthington was being offered the role because he kept flubbing up the lines and not performing well. And like you see a scene of Russell Crowe sleeping at home, and then you tell that he's like taken over again, and then he makes his way over to the set while Sam Worthington's like practicing the lines and looks in a mirror, and then he's hearing like the demon voice around, and like as he's looking in the mirror, like, it's a surprise because here's the mirror in front of Sam Worthington, and he's behind the mirror, and he punches through, and like glass goes into the eye of Sam Worthington, and he's dead, and I think they report like, oh, they found him in pieces or something like that, and I was like, so yeah, the movie was shut down.
Yeah.
So his character went to prison for double homicide.
Well, no, like that's the thing, they don't really touch on. All right, because I guess there's no proof of him doing the first murder, but like I think they suspect him after everybody saw him stab the priest. Well, it's just two people.
He probably murdered the other person.
But I mean, like his daughter could keep his mouth shut, and his because the daughter was having was falling for the lead actress.
Oh, okay.
And like they were having like their own relationship, which was like both of them were staying at the house with the possible possessed dad, and it was like there were moments where it's like because like he walks in. He like peers in while they're like canoodling in bed and kissing and making out, and then like there's a point where he gets possessed. It's like no one's gonna eat you like I do, or like it was turned. I was like, oh, that's a bit rough there, but I was So there were moments that just didn't work, and then there were moments that really sold it.
That sounds interesting. Though.
So I'd say it's worth just watching for that, and like hopefully someone takes that idea and expands on it because it was interesting.
No Vespa, though.
No Vespa.
I'm out.
And no Italian accent.
Speaking of Vespas.
Yes.
You also saw the bike riders.
I also saw the bike
riders. You are king of the segues
Thank
today.
You.
Well, look at this guy.
Thank you. This was is this based on, I guess it's based on the Hells Angels?
No.
Because it looks like it takes place in the 50s or 60s, right?
Yeah, it's the late 60s, and it goes up to like 75.
Okay.
Pretty much. And so it's told by narration by
Is it Austin Butler?
No, actually, which weird enough, as much as he's like in the trailer, he's more of like in the background.
Really?
And,
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's the main guy.
But like Jodie Comer, she's telling because there's a book of this.
Yeah.
And it's this photographer who was like traveling with them, taking pictures and interviewing them and like taking their story down, and he turned it into a book. And so in the movie, it's him talking to Jodie Comer, and she's talking about how they started up the motorcycle club, and it also cuts to him talking to them as she's describing like when they're out and about. So it's almost like it felt a lot like Goodfellas in a sense.
So I've heard, yeah.
But also like maybe. What's the old motorcycle movie, Easy Rider? Because it's almost like they just lived this free roaming life.
And I think there's The Outlaws, I think, with Marlon Brando. Something like that.
That's a big one. Well, that's the thing. In the movie, they explain that Tom Hardy's character got the idea for his motorcycle club called the Vandals from the Brando movie. He was watching it on TV.
They're called. That's what their motorcycle club is.
Yeah,
that's a real motorcycle.
Yeah,
club.
no, this is this is a real story. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a made up club like based off Hell's Angels or something.
Well, no, because
I see.
It started out like the way she was talking about it. First, it started out with him creating a club to race motorcycles,
right?
And then as time went on, he was like, let's turn it more into a club where we hang out and we talk about it and we just talk about motorcycles and ride around and stuff. And so
and of course it evolves into crime.
Because as it gets later in the years when some of the veterans come back and all these other people from other states want to join in the club, the younger group, because they're all like much older. They're like, I don't know, probably 40s or something like that. And they're much more there's like a set of rules that they don't really explain too much about the rules, but they go into the younger group is more violent and more like crime heavy.
Is that Austin Butler's crew?
No, Austin Butler joined it from the beginning, and he's just like, he's kind of a James Dean. I don't care, man. I'm gonna run these spirits and like.
What are you rebelling against? What do you got?
I'm just rebelling against everything, man. And he falls in love with Jodie Comer's character in the beginning, and that's why she's able to lead the story. And
so Tom Hardy is the leader of the crew.
Of the crew, yeah.
Now, is he in favor of the violence or is he against it?
Now
of the younger crew,
he isn't, but like you could see as it goes on, because since it started expanding so much, he's losing control because all the younger people are like, we don't think you should be and so they could challenge him for power and stuff like that. And like, there's a point where you see them riding, Tom Hardy's group riding by, and all these younger kids that are like taking a hubcap off of a car, see them and they're like, oh man, I want to be part of them. And they kind of start their own little gang. And eventually in the story, they want to join up with the Vandals, and Tom Hardy's like, no man, because like he even said like to the head kid, and we see this kid beat up by his own dad because he was like being abusive to his mom and stuff, and he almost killed his dad pretty much. So you see like there's this violence in this kid who hasn't had because compared to Tom Hardy's life, he's married and he has kids, and he drives a truck, and that's how he kind of funds a lot of the motorcycle club. And so they approach Tom Hardy and like, there's like, we want to be a part of your gang, and he's like, no kid. And but he turns around and he's like, all right, you can join the gang, your friends can't. And then the guy goes, yeah. And then he's like, no man, you would leave your friends like that?
And fuck off.
Yeah,
right,
so,
and he passed the tests.
Yeah, and then the kid pulls out a knife and tries to stab Tom Hardy, and he gets his hand, but like Tom Hardy beats him up, kicks him on the ground and stuff, and says, get out of here and stuff. And so, but that character comes back later, and he ends up like, spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it, but he like kills him, he kills Tom Hardy's character because he challenges him for because all the younger people are like, we don't like how you're not, because it
cool,
really
man.
wasn't a gang to begin with,
yeah,
and it slowly was turning into a gang and criminal heavy and like rape it and all this other bad stuff and drugs, because part of it was like veterans were coming back from Vietnam and they were joining up because the club was for people who were outsiders that weren't welcome. So it drew in a bad crowd, and then the bad crowd just overwhelmed everyone else. And
so is there a rival motorcycle club that they have a fight with, or
is there a rumble?
Rumble. There is a rumble, but it's like lighthearted in the sense where there's one time where they're out at a picnic in a park and stuff like that, and someone's accusing of one of the other bikers of scratching their bike.
Oh,
and
fuck no.
And then but then Tom Hardy comes over and he's like, oh yeah, and then they kind of calm down and they're just talking. But Austin Butler, he's like drinking over in the corner, and he's like, oh, it looks like they're about to get into it. And he goes, oh fuck. And he throws his beer down and charges in and just punches the guy in the face, and they all get into a brawl. And it was like a fun little brawl. But then like you saw that everybody started looking over at Austin Butler because like he missed a guy and punched through a car window, and he had glass in his hand.
Oh, shit.
And he looks at it, and then he start beating the guy on the ground, and really they had to pull him off. And it was my favorite part of the movie because Tom Hardy had to pull Austin Butler off, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
And it was just funny how he was saying it.
I've seen from the trailers. I mean, Tom Hardy makes some interesting choices.
He does.
I'll give him credit. Like, I was worried I would get tired of that accent.
Yeah, he does in Venom too, right?
Yeah.
Well, but like, the voice, because it's more Chicago. Obviously, it's because they're based in Chicago here.
Yeah, and
it felt more. I never saw his Capone movie, but I would assume it's probably his Capone voice, but pulled back, and it worked for the character he was portraying in this movie.
Fucking stab him in the neck with a pencil.
He's like, burn it down, burn it down.
Yeah,
but it was endearing in this one. I didn't think it was too much, but and then Austin Butler was, he was this guy here, cool as ice. I'm not doing it justice, obviously.
So what do you think of the movie in general, though?
Seeing the trailer before seeing it, I was like, it's probably going to be like whatever movie.
Right.
And then I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I was surprised. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Because this is a movie that's been, it was delayed for like a year.
Yeah, it was supposed to be pandemic, come out.
I was a little worried. I was like, ooh, what is this?
They've been advertising it for a long time.
Yeah, that's why I was like, but also it was weird because Austin Butler was kind of like in and out, and it really didn't focus on him too much. So I was like, "Oh wow, okay."
Well, his star didn't really rise until Elvis.
Because after
if they filmed this way before that,
exactly.
Well, no, Elvis, he started filming Bike Riders after he finished Elvis.
Oh, okay.
So it probably still would have come out after Elvis, but like that would have been the second movie.
Yeah, and then Dune,
Yeah. But I mean, still, you had the lead in Elvis, so But no, I recommend the movie. It's worth seeing. It's a part of me. I was like, you know what? I'd like a motorcycle, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be Gary Busey. Or was that Mark Hamill? I forget who got in a motorcycle accident.
Busey got in a terrible one.
Busey,
got messed up his brain.
Yeah. Let me tell you about E1. Starts for everybody wears
a helmet.
Well, yeah, there you go. A helmet, never. E1.
Speaking of helmets.
Oh,
wow.
Oh.
The Acolyte.
Nice. Yet again.
This guy. Look at this guy.
I know.
Betting for 1,000.
Thank you.
They are helmets.
Is that an Acolyte a helmet?
There's one helmet.
There's a helmet.
It's, I don't know. I mean...
It was the twist
it's
that everyone saw coming.
Milo Ren, also, you mean?
Also what the helmet can do. Anyway. Full disclosure, I have not watched any of the show. I did not have a lot of...
He's a hater.
That's what everybody's saying, but that's not... Hey. The truth is, and we've had this discussion on the IM group that we're all part of with the rest of the Reading Rainbows.
Someday we gotta do a transcript of the Acolyte storyline.
Yeah, well, so the truth is, I don't have time anymore to dedicate myself to shit that's like not people are saying is bad.
Yeah,
I just don't, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I can't. I don't have the time anymore. I got my job. I got the nonprofit part of, I got this. I got the screenplay that we're writing.
There's a dog.
It's just I got a dog. I got a relationship. So it's like I don't have the time to dedicate myself to stuff, and I can't dedicate myself to stuff that trusted opinions are telling me is just not worth your time. And I've heard that from this show, and it's got nothing to do with all this bullshit that people are throwing at it. It's because it's female centered or whatever. It's none of that. It's none of that nonsense. It's that I just trusted YouTuber reviewers who give everything a fair shake. Like, I'm going to go in this and I'm going to give it a fair shake. And if it's bad, I'm going to tell you it's bad. If it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. So there's 2 or 3 of them that I follow. And then a lot of my friends who I know just in general have all been saying the same thing. Like, this is just, the writing is off.
Yeah.
The action scenes are strange. It's just not well done. Everything it's the twists are, we can see them a mile away. It's just, it's not a good show is what I've been hearing.
Yep.
Even our one of our friends who's one of the we could
who
say
likes everything.
Well, no, he I would say he's a huge.
I'm messing with it,
He's a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
and like he likes to give things a chance, but he gave this a chance, and it's not.
He's even said like who generally. I mean, I'm joking that he says he likes everything, but he definitely tends to like things a lot more than I do. In terms of like, even though I think it's bad, he's like, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Which, so even he's like, no, this recently.
Yeah.
He has the same opinion that other people that I know who love Star Wars as much as I do have been saying like this is just it's not good.
I haven't found anyone being like, this is my favorite Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'll see like as I scroll through Twitter, I'll see people defending the show. I was like, I don't care what people say. Acolyte's really good, or I like it. And I was like, fine, that's cool.
Your cup of tea.
This is your cup of tea. But like, I'm totally against people attacking other people on like that's stupid.
Yeah.
So it's
if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You can voice your opinion. Just don't
attack.
Don't attack.
Don't go after, especially don't go after the actors themselves. They got nothing to do with that shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I have been watching clips on YouTube and from the YouTubers I watch, and just clips on in general, and it's just like the main ones that people have been talking about. And it's like, that's from what I'm watching, it's not great. The latest episode just dropped, the 4th episode. I watched that and it's mostly in its entirety. After the fight scene stopped, I just kind of lost interest in the characters again. But this last one dropped, and I don't know how because in Phantom Menace, the Jedi Council clearly says we haven't seen the Sith in over a millennia.
Right.
But this takes place 100 years before that scene, before Anakin. So I'm hoping that at some point in this show they say, which is kind of a cop out. They'll probably be like, well, we got to cover this up, or we got to keep it from the Jedi Council.
No one in the council, they don't use the word Sith with this new. They say at the council meeting, they're like, it might be a rogue Jedi group.
Right.
They don't use the word Sith.
They do.
Well, he does on the planet's surface.
No, but also in Phantom Menace, they use the word Sith.
No, but he's talking about
in the show.
In
Acolyte.
But he says Sith, though. He says, you might call me a Sith.
Right,
yeah.
But he says that to Saul.
Right.
I don't think Saul's going to make it.
Oh, I don't think so either.
So
and I was actually surprised that they killed off the characters they did. I was like, wow, you guys actually had the balls to do it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, characters that were developed, because they had their like red shirt Jedis, which I knew those guys are going to fucking die.
Yeah.
But then they killed off 2 of the major players.
Like, and I because we've seen it in the last couple of shows that getting stabbed in the torso with a lightsaber doesn't do anything. It's like a paper cut.
Yeah.
But in this show, it actually has consequences, it seems. Getting stabbed with a lightsaber actually has consequences.
Yeah, like prison shanks or with this lightsaber. It's like, shick.
That was pretty good.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I mean, what do you think of it so far? Your thoughts on the show in general?
In general, I'd agree with most of the commentary. I think the writing is weak.
Yeah.
The twists, if you want to call them that, are you can see them a mile away.
The revelation of the Sith Master.
Yeah.
Every YouTuber I've watched, it was like, it's that guy.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Yeah.
Which is, come on. If your fans can call it from a mile away, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, even the stuff like in this latest episode with the bugs that are attracted to light, it's like, I know what they're going to do with that. It's like, it's telegraphed really far.
Also, that was just strange that I don't,
Yeah.
She's like, don't kill him, but then I'm going to put this light on him so the bugs can kill him.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And the stuff with the sisters, I don't know what's going on.
They did this really weird thing, and I brought this up, and I've seen in the clips that I've seen, is that they used 2 separate child actors to play twins. But then in the adult version, the same person is playing. What are you doing? What is that?
Both have the same haircut.
Yeah, and they both have the same character. But the same haircut. Because everybody's like, how is it that these 2 twins who both think the other is dead have the same haircut? Okay, fine, they're twins. They got that twin shared mindset, whatever. But
May's technically her hair's a little longer.
Yeah,
her braids
exactly.
are longer.
Yeah.
But casting this 2 different child actors and then having the same actor play the adult version. What the fuck are you doing? What is anyway, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, they probably unless you get a good child actor, I don't think a child actor is going to be able to play 2 different parts of themselves.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You just have to have the same, or just get twins that just get actual twins,
It's true.
Just get a set of twins, Yeah. I don't get it. I'm sure there's a lot of child actors out there who are twins, who come in a set. I'm sure.
I'm nothing's been really grabbing me about the show other than like this last episode. The fight scenes were very well done,
very well choreographed.
There was some great there's bits where the Smilo Ren,
as everybody's calling him.
He stabs someone through with the lightsaber, then uses the Force to pull another Jedi onto it.
Pretty cool. And then it looks like he beheads him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And it's I was like, ooh, I haven't seen that before, which is cool.
Yeah.
So they go for a bit of the brutality, which in Star Wars they usually don't.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that I found weird is that he knocks out lightsabers by headbutting them.
Yeah, so there's something in the metal in the helmet disrupts the
kyber crystal or something.
Yeah, so it messes them up for a little bit, but then they reignite,
which it leads to all kinds of problems with future lightsaber fights.
Why isn't everyone that armor? Yeah,
which is again, you were talking about the writing. That's weak writing, and they don't think about that kind of thing.
Same with the Mandalorian armor, right? That's
Beskar. Yeah,
no
lightsabers can't cut through that. But it can't disrupt it. Yeah.
Well, if anything, if he's the one who invented it and he dies eventually, then it just goes with him, and no one's gonna have that.
I suppose, but I mean, it's like. But I don't think we're ever going to get an explanation as to why the helmet could do that, though, which is the problem.
No, it'll be something in a book.
Yeah, exactly. 5 years or it'll be, it's Beskar armor. Well, Beskar armor doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So, I don't. So again, it's you're talking about the writing. They're throwing a lot of stuff out there. It's like, wait a minute, do you guys know what the timeline is here? Right. You're causing a lot of problems. It's like J.J. Abrams. I mean, not J.J. Abrams. What's the second trilogy movie?
Rian Johnson.
The Rian Johnson movie. Yeah. It's just like, just firing ships at other ships at light speed. Well, just do that. Why do you need to have battles?
Yeah, you don't even sets up all kinds of problems. Just have a droid do it.
Exactly. Just have droids man a ship and there you go. Just blast through the Death Star like that.
The one thing about the show that's driving me a little batty is I don't see the value. I know this. The budget on the show is ridiculous.
So like 150.
I don't see it anywhere. When they're walking around the woods, I'm like, it looks like a set.
So I've heard
the costumes look bad. Even Smilo Ren, it looks like he's just wearing a cloak and he's got a helmet on.
I think a majority of it is gone into either reshoots or editing and VFX. Even though the VFX is not great because most likely Disney.
Where are we seeing it?
Well, no, I'm just saying that it doesn't look great, but it's probably because they were rushed. A lot of it's rushed.
There's one bit that I noticed, and it's such an uncanny valley bit, but it's when they land on the planet, this last episode, it's like a woodland planet, and the ship comes down and lands. Nothing moves. Nothing in the surrounding area of the ship landing. It's completely covered in woods and trees, and the trees are just standing still. There's no disturbance of anything coming, landing. There's no weight to that scene.
Well, that's the thing nowadays. That since
it's a nitpick, I know.
No, but it's a legitimate. It's a legitimate right.
I mean, there's a very discernible quality now from films and TV shows of the same IP. If you watch even of the newest trilogy and stuff, you could tell the quality there compared to this or any of the other Star Wars TV shows. It's just it's not there.
Yeah.
And now this Acolyte, it looks like this show looks like it should be on CW or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. It feels like a CW show.
I don't know. It's missing something where I
think when you just take something like this and dilute it down so much, it does kind of feel like this is just a bargain basement version of
and that's why Andor hits so hard because they use real locations.
Yeah.
So it has a heaviness and a weight to it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Whereas this show, you were saying, the woodland scene. When I was watching the fight itself, the lightsaber fight, the fight itself kind of felt heavy. But you were saying, the rest of the show, there's something off about it. It doesn't feel like a real place they're in.
Even those bugs when those bugs are attacking and they're And Saul's like, I'll get it with my lightsaber.
Right.
It's
like was Mando in real locations?
No, they use that
the
that
volume.
big screen.
Okay.
AI, not
the green screen.
the green screen generator.
They use very
thing.
little real locations for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, something happened in between, like the first season of Mando and to here, that the quality has just been going down.
Yeah,
so,
and it's all been like.
I think it's a lot of them trying to push like a season of a show every. Like we have at least 2 Star Wars show per year now.
Yeah,
and it's like they're just trying to push it out there so much instead of taking the time.
They're trying to expand the property more than it already is,
Exactly.
and you don't need to.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You could explore. There's already so much to play around with. Like you don't need to make a new. I mean, yes, make a new story, but you don't have to make add to the lore where it would be like people are gonna wonder about it. Like, oh no, just we're following a crew of space pirates. We're following,
well, and that's what I was excited for this show initially because they were saying this is 100 years prior.
Yeah,
it has no connection to the Skywalker stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was excited to see what they did with like the design elements and stuff, and it just feels like the same cookie cutter stuff. That we've seen. Like there's nothing about this. This, and I have the same problem with Game of Thrones, right? Like House of the Dragon looks like they took the same costumes and everything from Game of Thrones, and that's supposed to be like 1,000-year difference, right?
We'll talk about that, but I actually have an explanation. I can defend that.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I watching this last episode. The actual fight scenes themselves were very well done, and like I said, I give them hats off for them having the balls to actually kill off some of the major characters, which I didn't think was going to happen, because that's something that we haven't seen in the other Star Wars shows where they don't have the balls to kill off major characters. What's her name gets stabbed with a lightsaber.
Oh, Sabine.
Sabine, and she's fine. And then an Obi-Wan, the Inquisitor.
Right.
She gets stabbed twice as a kid and then as an adult, and she's fine. One of the Inquisitors themselves gets stabbed, and he's all right. It's just like, come on, man! Like, you're making probably there's no stakes, and you're making the one of the deadliest weapons in the entire galaxy to be just a paper cut, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be okay tomorrow. Like literally, Sabine's okay the next day.
Yeah. After
spending some time in, I guess, a back to whatever. It's like you're supposed to add, not take away.
Right.
And then I don't feel that this show or a lot of Star Wars shows lately have been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on in Lucasfilm. They did the same thing. If people who are listening, you heard our review about Dial Destiny. I don't know what the hell that was, but it's just Willow. They pulled that off of their streaming service because I guess it was nobody's watching. I don't know.
Well, my final gripe about the show, we never get to see a Wookiee with a
lightsaber. The explanation they gave for that was because they didn't have enough money for that. And I was like, what the fuck are you... Where's it all going? You got over $100 million. What do you mean you don't have money for a Wookiee fight? That would have been cool to see.
I want a Wookiee fight, damn it.
Yeah, Jedi Wookiee. It's the first time we've seen that. I mean, we saw a Padawan Wookiee, I think, in one of the other series, but I think it was one of the Clone Wars episodes. We saw, a Padawan Wookiee. I don't know if it was the same guy. I doubt it, but no, it could have been because it's Clone Wars. But how come we haven't actually seen the first time we get an actual Jedi Wookiee, and he's dead.
Right.
We don't off screen. Come on,
Yeah.
Because I don't want no damn Wookiees as a Jedi. Get them out of here. Send them back to Wookiee land.
Wow. Kashyyyk.
Yeah, that's what the fans would say or something. I don't know.
I don't think they say that.
I mean, they probably would.
I don't think they say that.
I mean...
He took our jibs!
I wonder if Yoda from Clone Wars, he was like, hey, one of your guys was a Jedi, remember?
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, are we also going to see a baby Yoda? Because it's only 100 years and he's 900?
He looks like he does in the in the prequels.
No, but I mean,
the baby.
They talk.
They say he's like 50, I think. Didn't they say that in the Mandalorian?
No, not the Baby Yoda.
No,
Grogu,
I'm saying
he's talking about
actual Yoda.
Actual Yoda, yeah.
He'd be alive in the Jedi.
No, he's a master. He's a Jedi Grandmaster. Yeah.
But wouldn't we eventually see him in this?
And then they
show?
talk about the higher council. But they're like, we're not going to take this problem to the higher council because we don't want.
Now
them to
think
know.
about that, man. How cool would it have been if Yoda,
his brother. Yeah, my name's Yoda. Hey, man,
my brother got all the force powers.
He did.
I just drive this freighter around.
He made me build a temple. I'm good
That'd be
with.
great. He's just like
a
space truck.
They don't get along.
Yoda.
Yeah. The last time they're going to see each other is when their mother passes away.
Yeah.
Oh.
He threw at that last time of Thanksgiving. He threw that lightsaber at me.
He's had that damn speech impediment, since birth, man.
He's talking backwards.
Yeah, he's trying to make it look like we all talk like that.
Oh man, because Yoda supported Palpatine. That's why.
You know what? You trying to make the galaxy great again. I like that.
Let me tell you about Palpatine.
That's going to be a project for a picture for Instagram. You're going to make Yoda character.
All right, Yoda, there you go.
Happening.
But how cool would it have been if Yoda actually dispatched them because he found out that a Jedi had been killed?
Yeah,
and he's like, and they're here on orders of Yoda.
Well, actually, he wouldn't have to hear about it. He'd feel
exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Yep. Nope, that doesn't happen either. There's a lot of problems with this show. It's also the Jedi can mind read now, which is it's been around before, but they don't use it for certain things. It's just like, why don't you just, when they're interrogating who turns out to be the Sith that everybody called, it's like, why don't you just mind read him?
Well, he said the helmet protected us.
No, but he was not when he's not wearing the helmet because they questioned him prior.
Yeah, you're right.
Why don't you just mind? And then if he resists, like, whoa, this guy has training. What the fuck? So there you go. The whole thing falls apart. But no, that's the problem with the writing. Yeah. That's the problem with the writing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna continue to watch the show at all. I watched this. I watched the fight scenes because everybody was saying it was worth it. It was. I don't know if
it's got like a 13% it's audience rating right now. I
think like 5 days ago at 15. Now I think it's like a 13.
Now let me ask you this though, since it's got such a low rating, I don't know how much of a low rating Willow had. But do you think they're going to pull it off on Disney Plus? Disney is hemorrhaging so much money right now that it wouldn't surprise me if they pulled it for the tax thing like they did Batgirl. And I think that's what they pulled at Willow for that as well.
Yeah, because of royalties.
Yeah, so they may because it depends on. I know they've lost. Well, I don't know if they lost, but they only had less viewers than they did Ahsoka, and for the premiere, which is not good. I mean, Ahsoka has, legacy characters in it to an extent.
Yeah, but people love the Clone Wars characters.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did pull it at some point. I don't know if they would, just because it's one of the things that Kathleen Kennedy is directly involved in. So I don't know if they would. But yeah, Willow, she wasn't really, she's in charge of Lucasfilm, and Willow was Lucasfilm, but I don't think she was directly involved with that, so it didn't matter as much to her, I don't think. So, but
I don't know. I mean, it's hard because it's a Star Wars IP that gives it a lot of weight. Like Willow has its fans, but not Star Wars.
Not Star Wars.
If you take something Star Wars away the fact that the Ewoks movies on Disney Plus. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
that's true.
Yeah,
so it probably will stick around. Yeah,
they may. I mean, I don't know. I guess it all comes.
Or
down.
It'll be like the holiday special, which never existed.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's all up to Bob Iger. He's technically in charge. So if he pulls it, he pulls it. But I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. So, but yeah, are you gonna watch it, Chad?
Yeah. I mean, I have been watching. I'm behind. I think by today's episode and the previous one, I think I've only seen part of. I haven't finished it or whatever.
That one was.
Yeah. No, it is. It's just like I haven't been very excited for any of the shows coming out because it's just like I'm not interested. I don't know. It's
that's
just
very much
not like I love the video games. I'll play all the Star Wars video games. Yeah, because there's something. At least I could be interactive with it. I could do stuff, on my own accord. Yeah, and so, but like I don't know, just the stories they're giving me here aren't as good as the ones in the games and stuff like that. So I'd say I'll still play the games and. Movies down the road I'll still check out, but like I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll check any. Like, do they have a show planned after Acolyte? I don't even know.
Oh, the Skeleton Crew, I think.
Oh yeah, that's done filming.
Then,
that was the what's his name, Jude Law show.
Yeah.
I might check that one out.
And then, of course, Andor season 2 is coming.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
That's I am excited for that because I went to Andor the exact same way I went into Boba Fett. Was just like Book of Boba Fett.
Rock hard.
Yeah, I was just like, well, this is probably they're gonna fuck this up, and they didn't. And I think, see, that's a weird thing because it's like Andor, in my opinion, is one of the best TV shows ever made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tony Gilroy's in charge of that though, and it doesn't seem like Lucasfilm had a lot of input into that.
They sink their fangs into Tony.
Yep.
And then your season 2 goes...
They announced for season 2 that Ben Mendelsohn will be on it.
Yes.
He'll be coming back.
Yes. I mean, it's amazing. So, there's still glimmers of hope, I guess, but I don't know, long term, I don't know where Star Wars is going to go. It seems like it's down in dumps. Also, didn't you... during that Acolyte fight scene at the end where... what's the guy's name who was in Squid Game?
Saul,
yeah. He's able to best the Sith. Don't you think they missed a great opportunity there for the Sith to call out the Jedi? When he's about to cut off his head, he's like, "Go ahead, give into your anger."
Or kind of does, yeah.
But he doesn't actually say
saying
it.
Like, there's something in dark side about him.
Yeah, but he doesn't actually say it. Like, especially but right before that, before he gets the upper hand, as they're fighting, he's like, "Yo, you feel that anger? You feel the hate? It feels good, doesn't it?" Mm-hmm. That's how I would have written it. And at the end, when he's about to cut his head, I was like, "Go ahead." Do it. Give into your anger.
Right.
Like just like with a smile on his face, like taunting him, like, "Oh, you're so great, Jedi." "Oh no, you're not. You're not. You're just one step away from becoming what I am." And they didn't do that. And what is going on here?
Sorry for all the banging.
That's me.
He got emotional there.
I'm giving into my hate and anger.
Yeah.
So yeah. Speaking of hate and anger, Inside Out 2.
Damn, he does it again.
Thank you. Inside Out 2, emotions.
Yeah, so I went and saw Inside Out 2 with the kiddo and family, and man, Pixar's back, baby. Like,
so I've heard. Yeah,
it's really good. It's a solid movie. It deals with Riley, the character from the first movie, is now a teenager. Yeah, going into high school,
adolescence, right?
Adolescence and puberty. Yeah, and it does it in a smart way. It does it with. It's funny. It's got some great comedic moments, but then it's a lot of heart and a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of memes about it right now about how they talk about anxiety, and
is anxiety like the antagonist in this, or because it seemed the trailer it seemed like she was.
So it's Riley's going through puberty and going through the changes of going into high school, and Joy and everyone's at the control panel, and then anxiety comes in and goes, "Hey guys, back away! I've got this. Like, I'm here to make Riley feel safe." And what
anxiety's there to make her feel safe.
That's what anxiety says she's there for, right? So she's like, "Well, what we got to do is make Riley change her entire personality to be someone else." So she fits in with all these people that she's meeting at high school. Okay. Right? Which a lot of people feel like when they go to a new social group or that. It's like you so anxiety is constantly like coming up with scenarios, like I got to keep thinking, oh my God, like how's she going to deal with this and how's she going to deal with that? And so, and there's a great moment where Riley has a panic attack and you just see anxiety like running around like crazy in the control room. And it's like, Joy and all of the old school emotions get bottled up and get shipped into Riley's vault. Yeah, and they're like suppressed emotions basically. Right. And so the new emotions that are introduced are anxiety, embarrassment, ennui, and ennui, boredom.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was like, what is it? Okay.
And envy, and so and they're kind of taking over, and you see how those emotions are shaping Riley now. And Joy and the others are being like, no, you need Riley to remember her old self, has to be okay with her old self. It's really beautifully done. It's a way to deal with emotions that I've never seen that gives names, and it's for kids to kind of figure out these changes are happening through them. Like I had to explain to my kid who is 6, like what puberty is, and I was like, puberty is when you grow, when your body grows, because there's a they show the control desk, and there's a giant button that says puberty. It starts like an alarm starts flashing, and they're like, what is this? So I had to kind of explain it to my kid before we went into the movie of like, hey, puberty just means growing up, becoming a teenager, and your body goes through changes. It's really well done, and a great stellar cast of voice actors again. So yeah, I would say check it out.
Now, do you, compared to the first one, do you have a preference or?
Man, I think they both are. I mean, I think they're on the same level. Really, okay. I think it's a great movie that transitions from the first to the second. Okay. So yeah, I'd say both of them are really stand out, and I don't say like one's better than the other.
Okay, because I've talked to a few other people, and they've said it's like, it doesn't beat the first one for them, but it's still good.
Yeah, so, I think it's very solid. Yeah.
And if they make a third movie, when is this? This has been, people have been saying this online. It's like, when are they going to bring in horny?
Yeah,
and I was like, that's not an emotion, I guess.
So it's like, I'm glad it was a teenage girl that they went with instead of a teenage boy as the main character, because then it would just be humping pillows all the time.
Right, exactly. And just anger the whole time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Wow. All right, well, I mean, so you recommend Inside Out too?
I would. I mean, I like it feels like classic Pixar. There's not a lot of like pushing of agenda or anything like that. It's just dealing with like, hey, so you feel funny, you feel weird around this time. And this is, a great example of how to kind of navigate those feelings.
Cool. All right.
And like I forget, someone mentioned this to me. Like with Pixar films, there's never a love interest story. It's always just like there's something going on, emotions involved, but it's like it's the story, and
there's a lot of in this movie. There's a lot about like Riley as a character dealing with her family life, dealing with her friends, because she's losing old friends in her junior high that are not going to the same high school as her anymore, and then she's meeting new friends, and she's on the hockey team, and she wants to be on the hockey team in the high school, and all the girls have like red streaks in her hair, and you see like envy in her hair. It's like, we gotta do that. We gotta get red streaks too. And just dealing with like, how do people fit in?
Now, Inside Out 2 or Toy Story 3?
Oh, man.
You better make the right choice.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Toy Story 3.
Oh, there you go.
It's going to be...
there you
go.
We belong together.
But Inside Out 2 over Toy Story 4.
I haven't seen 4, so I'll allow it.
That makes sense. That's good. That's good. That's good.
That's allowed. We're putting that on the board.
Yep.
Speaking of other cartoons, we also watched the new Batman trailer that is coming out here soon.
Yeah, Batman Cape Crusader show.
Yeah, man. What do you guys think?
It looks great. I mean, I love the look. Bruce Timm always has great artwork.
It feels very old school
animated series.
Yeah, animated series. Specifically the 92 kind of colored palette they're going with.
Yeah, but and also the... but it seems older because of the because it's not quite Art Deco. It's actually just in a real time period of like.
It's interesting that they picked the 1930s, 40s,
or 30s. Yeah,
they picked that time period. So I mean, there's stuff like there's not going to be like a big computer banks and stuff like that, or like satellites. And, this is all very pre. It's going to be interesting because it's very much. I think they did that to kind of. Be like, this is not connected. This isn't like...
Yeah, it's not...
its own thing.
Continuation of...
Yeah, or a prequel to that show.
Yeah. Now, are you a fan of the long ears?
I am. I like them.
I don't know. I like them a little shorter.
Yeah, me too.
It's just...
it
looks like if he's walking through a doorway, it'll get caught.
It looks a little comical.
No, I mean, I don't... I
like the Arkham games, and they've got the long ears too.
Really?
So.
Oh, they do.
That's true.
In some of them, yeah. Well, but I mean... In this, they look even longer than that in the game, so that's why I'm like maybe just a little shorter.
Yeah,
but that's like a nitpick.
But I mean, and obviously this is like year one Batman.
No, of course.
I hopefully if the show continues, they'll maybe show some improvements.
Yeah.
I do love the way the Batmobile looks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
looks
looks great.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Like I'm excited for it. I even like his Batman voice. Very lots of Kevin Conroy influence there.
Yes.
The one of the like crooks that was shooting a Tommy gun out the car of the window was like, it would sound very. I was like, okay, this is what we're.
It's like very 1930s, 40s. Yeah.
So and there's like one little shot that got me so excited, but the comic book villain Onomatopoeia is shown.
Oh, cool.
Is that the?
He's got like black with circles on it, and he says "bang."
Yeah.
So that's his whole thing. Is like as he's shooting or killing people, he says the sound effect.
Oh,
and it's the name Onomatopoeia.
Because I thought he was gonna be. I don't know if he's called Balance or Equilibrium.
Like Count Vertigo kind of thing.
Well, no, there was a. Did you ever watch Brave and the Bold?
Yes.
Remember the one that like he would do good and bad stuff?
Oh yeah.
I forget his name. It was like Equilibrium or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he would always like do a bad act to counter a good act or a good act to. And that's what he looked like to me. But that's cool. That's even cooler. Or more
Onomatopoeia is a character that was in the Green Arrow comic books. Kevin Smith was writing them, like 2006.
So he's a newer villain, or
like 2006.
Okay.
Like I was reading that run. I loved that run of Green Arrow, and I always was waiting for that character to show up on Arrow because he's such an interesting character.
Is he have powers, or is it just like
No, he's a serial killer that he doesn't speak except for when he's like firing a gun or using he'll walk behind you and be like slice,
Oh, that's cool.
Like it's and it plays really well on the panel, obviously.
Yeah.
Now was I would assume the guy that had a half melted face was Two-Face?
It looks like Two-Face, because they show Harvey Dent campaigning.
Oh, okay.
In one of the segments.
The one with the red sash, was that Scarecrow?
No, so that's Clayface.
Really?
That's Clayface 1. If you ever read the original run of Clayface comic books, Basil Karlo was the character he was kind of like a Phantom of the Opera type.
Oh, okay. But so this one is an actor as well.
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they're said about it, but I believe that's Clayface.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Interesting. And I would really hope to see a version of the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
In this,
that'd be great.
This time period. That'd be
I think it's interesting we're getting Harley Quinn without the Joker.
I did see her in there, but I was like, maybe it's not quite her.
Yeah, and it's a very different look.
No, actually, they called her the Jester. Or called him the I don't know if it was her or him, but they called them the Jester. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is a different character, maybe. Mm. Maybe it's a prelude to Harley? I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just like surprised to not see a Joker in there, but maybe they're holding off on that.
Yeah, don't bring him in yet. You got to sell the
show itself.
The show itself first.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way it starts off with they're talking about like Batman. And they're like, he took out a bunch of like hoods and drug dealers. So it's like very down and dirty Batman.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It should be fun.
DC also released some pictures from the latest gun films.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So those look pretty interesting. What do you guys think about them?
So we got some behind the scenes leaked pictures of Superman on set, and I kind of thought this was gonna like when they released the actual shot of Superman in suit. I was like, oh, I guess they're gonna start shooting stuff on the streets, and they wanted to control that image.
Yeah,
because now we're getting a lot of shots of the suit.
Yeah.
It still looks a little frumpy on him.
It does, yeah. I mean,
it looks baggy. I don't know why.
I think it's mainly the angles of those
shots.
But also, I think it's not touched up by the VFX and everything else.
It'll probably get a little.
It's probably going to look better than that.
And he's outside, so who knows how much the elements are messing with the suit.
He's got the yellow symbol on the cape.
Yeah, man.
That's like old school.
That's very cool, yeah.
We haven't
seen
that.
The spandex underwear.
The undies are back.
But I also like the version of the S they're doing
like
from
the Kingdom Come.
Yep. Yeah, and I was like, okay. And
it needs to be a little bigger. I just want
just a little bit bigger. But maybe, who knows? You might get other suits.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be dope.
And a lot of people aren't talking about, but within those pictures, we're seeing Mr. Terrific for the first time, which that suit looks perfect. It looks right out of the comic book. Mr. Terrific, Lois Lane. We saw pictures of Perry White.
Oops, sorry.
Oh,
jeez.
Me bad.
So we're getting more and more of the cast showing up.
Yeah, Lex Luthor, shots of him walking around. So there's a shot with him with Mr. Terrific in a scene, but Lex Luthor has hair and glasses. So I'm wondering, like, if there's some time travel to this.
Oh,
that'd be interesting.
They're going back to stop the villain from doing something, and then I don't know, maybe that causes him to lose his hair, and he's like, Superman!
But I mean, the fact that we're already getting like other heroes in this world, like I know we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, is like Heroes been around for a while and Superman's new on the scene, or has he been around for a while?
Well, yeah, that's another thing. I hope it's not too convoluted with as many heroes they're bringing in. But if anything, they could do the storyline of with the Justice League 2000 or 3000, where they're from the Legion or whatever they're called,
right? Yeah,
and they come back in time to help Superman. So I mean, it could be that type of story.
You want a lot. You want so much time travel in your story.
No, I don't. But like, I always like that plot because like the one I remember is Brainiac going back in time to kill young Clark.
Yeah,
because he's weaker.
Yeah,
right.
And then they came back to help him. Like, no, you gotta be careful, and you're not strong enough, and blah blah blah. But it was cool just to see them fight in Smallville and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I want. That's the thing. It's just like I don't know how they're gonna or if they're gonna give us flashbacks of him landing and them finding him, or if it's
I think you do it kind of like what they did with Spider-Man. With you can maybe talk about his origins. I don't think we need to see it anymore. Yeah. We've seen Superman come to Earth how many times now? Like through TV shows and everything else. Like, I think we can move past that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like they casted Pa Kent, so he's not dead.
Yeah.
So, because I know in some versions he doesn't die from the heart attack or anything.
Yeah, it depends what timeline you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm really hoping the best for this. So, even though, like, since we're, our last hope is with Deadpool and Wolverine for Marvel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so funny that on the Marvel front, they just announced that Blade lost its third director.
Yeah. That movie is never coming out.
It was supposed to come out like.
Yeah, they've also done a ton of rewrites and reshoots, and now it's lost another director. I feel bad for.
Mahershala Ali was cast in
I feel bad
2019.
I know, man. Yeah.
I heard a rumor though that Wesley Snipes' Blade may have a part in Deadpool Wolverine.
I love that.
And if they do, I would be like, that is amazing. Yeah. That is amazing. So
I don't know. Well, because isn't like him and Ryan Reynolds have beef though, right?
Really?
Because of Blade Trinity, they did not get along.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they made up.
That was a long time ago. Hopefully they put it aside.
Maybe they'll make a joke at that. Like,
he's like, whatever, man. That's Wesley Snipes.
I like that. Not Ryan Reynolds?
Not Ryan Reynolds? No.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds.
That sounded a little more Ryan Reynolds to me.
Hey, guy, maybe we should, work on this movie together. You'll make some money, I'll make some money.
There you go.
I was like, yeah, man, motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I want that line. If he comes back and just does that one line, I'll be happy.
Or at least Ryan Reynolds delivers the line, and then the camera pans and he looks at Ryan Reynolds for saying his line.
There you go. Speaking of skating uphill, because winter is coming.
Wow.
House of the Dragon.
I mean, is it coming in the show? I know.
No, not in the show, but in the universe.
All right. Okay, fair.
But the Starks exist in this timeline, so that's their thing.
Yeah.
So they're saying. So
well, winter's always. I mean, that's the thing in that world is like. There's always like a long winter for like. Was it like every 10 years is a long winter? Or
no,
so
yeah. Well, I mean, by the time we see the Game of Thrones, the original show that we saw. Yeah, it had been going on for like 15 years or something like that. The summer, yeah. So it's but long winters, long summers, yes. But in that show it was an unusually long summer.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, and so they were thinking, oh man, the winter's going to be especially hard because it's been such an unusually long summer. But House of the Dragon, are you guys watched any of it at all?
I have not watched any of House of the Dragon.
Anything at all, even the first season?
Nope.
Oh,
I think I watched part of the first episode.
Okay. Chad?
I watched a little bit into the first season, but I stopped because I was like, I I couldn't find a character that I wanted to like root for.
It's true.
And I do want to give the show another go because everybody's telling me it is really good.
It's
and
great.
I was like, okay, I'll do it, but like I'm waiting a bit.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll wait till season 2's done so I could just fire through 1 and 2 together.
No, it's understandable because there isn't characters you can latch on to immediately and be like, I'm rooting for that guy, like Jon Snow, you know, Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys. There aren't characters you can be like, I love this guy in this or this girl and I want him to succeed. There's nothing like this show. It's everybody is shades of gray. You know, there's not.
It's like watching the Kardashians.
Exactly.
Or Succession.
I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, they're not that bad.
Would you say Succession?
Succession is a good one. Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's
right.
perfect. Yeah, because like every single time you see a character that's like, okay, I'm kind of they do something that's morally dubious. You're like, oh, come on, man. I was just which is Succession. It was exactly like that. So this show is definitely there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. Even I guess the best character in it would be the King Aegon, the guy who he had that disease, who was the original king who decided to pass it on to his daughter. Even he does things you're like, that's a little weird, dude. Like I don't know about that. But this second season is turning out pretty good so far. Obviously now we're about to have a full scale war over the throne itself of Westeros. The misunderstanding was that as Aegon was dying, he named his son as his successor, even though he had already named his daughter. But his wife misunderstood that. He was calling out, I guess, for his brother, and so his wife misunderstood and said, well, okay, he wants to pass on the throne to his son, which is not what she just misunderstood.
Right.
And so
point is, write your wills down.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Well, they did write it down. They had a whole ceremony about she's going to inherit it, but now as he was dying, he said he wanted his son to take over. So
was there a notary there? I don't think it counts.
So they moved very quickly. His wife, his widow, moved very quickly to install her son in the throne, and now his daughter feels that she was left out of her true inheritance.
Right.
And so
she's the older daughter.
She's the older daughter of him, but she eventually her mother died in childbirth.
Right.
He remarried her best friend from childhood. Yeah. And so now there's this power struggle. I was going to say that I can defend the costumes and the locations. So yeah, they're reusing a lot of locations from Game of Thrones. Right. I would say though that the costumes are not the same that you see in Game of Thrones. There is some difference to them, and I've noticed coming from England, there's more of a Tudor-like feel to their costumes in House of the Dragon.
Interesting.
Than there is in, which is they kind of swapped it because
in
Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones
is
more medieval looking, whereas in this it's more like Tudorish, like kind of feelings with like the epitaphs on their shoulder blades and like it's so there is a different style. Even some of the armor looks a little more, I guess, more bulkier. Than it does in Game of Thrones. So there is some differences if you look at it. And this is supposed to take place, I think it's like, I want to say it's 200 or 300 years before the events in Game of Thrones. So there are some differences. You can see even some of the swords look because you're still dealing with Targaryens. Right. They have different styles of swords, which if you look at Daenerys' brother in Game of Thrones, he still had one of those old kind of Targaryen.
The Valyrian steel.
Yeah, he didn't have Valyrian steel, but it was a Targaryen style sword, which is kind of like this like old. Obviously in Game of Thrones, he used a lot of bastard swords, which is like the kind of standard sword they used. But his was looked like more like Eastern kind of influence.
Like a scimitar kind of.
It looked like that, kind of like a straight scimitar, basically. So and they'd have a lot of that type of weaponry still in House of the Dragon. So there are different. Okay. If you know what you're looking at, and if you've been a fan of both shows, you can see where the differences are. So there are subtle hints in there that they thrown in there, but they did a pretty good job with the details.
Well, I can't wait for whatever the next series is, and it's 1,000 years before then, and everyone's got like cell phones and
exactly.
and, like vending machines. It's like they're
going
actually backwards.
It actually takes place in 2024.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Oh my God, it's the future.
That's when it all happened.
But there was supposed to be one of the shows they had pitched to HBO was in old Valeria before the Doom of Valeria. They were gonna. When the Valyrians were in charge, there were dragons everywhere.
Yeah,
that's one of the shows that they had pitched. Yeah. I don't think they went with it, and they decided to go with the Dance of Dragons.
I know they filmed like a bunch of different pilots and cost HBO millions of dollars.
I think that's one of them. I think they did end up filming the pilot for that. Yeah, and they just didn't go with it.
Yeah, so much of that just money just too.
Let me ask though, since is there any magic that has been taking place in the first or second season?
So far, no magic, but I think that they want to tone it down with the magic because there's dragons still.
I understand. They didn't do a lot of magic in Game of Thrones other than the blood. What's her name? The blood priestess.
Oh yeah, the red.
They did the red woman. Or whatever. There was some also with the House of the Undying when they go to a Karth, I think.
Yeah. Oh, you go past the narrows.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So there was a bit of magic in
and then the White Walkers.
Yeah, and of course the White Walkers at the end. So there was a bit of it. In this, it's more. It's just. I think they want to tone it down because there's a lot of dragons.
They want to set the tone for it until like maybe that'll be a third season like of a big bad coming in.
Right. Exactly. Like but overall, I think the show is doing really well. There is certainly a heaviness and a feeling of stakes in this show that you don't see in other fantasy shows on other major networks. On another fantasy show on another major network, that this show also dropped their trailer the same day that they did.
Oh right,
and the ratio is
fantasy
completely
wars.
Yeah. But there is in the last season we had one of the sons of the queen was killed by his cousin technically. It wasn't meant to. They were both on dragons, and he didn't mean to kill him, but both dragons kind of lost control and attacked each other. So the son was killed. There's a scene where his brother sees his mother for the first time after the death of his brother, and he has just come back from flying all around the realm and trying to garner support for his mother and this eventual war that's going to happen. And they both see each other, having lost a brother and having lost a son. And it's a very emotional tone. Because he's trying to keep his composure and report to his mother, how so-and-so is supporting us. And his mother just loses, and they both lose, and they just embrace each other. And they just start, because they've lost a brother and a son. And so it's a very touching scene. And there's another scene between Matt Smith's character and the Queen, who he has just carried. I don't know if you want to. Well, he's done something behind her back that's pretty terrible. Okay. And involving a child.
On that show?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He has a child murdered, and she doesn't know anything about it, and she confronts him about it, and he says he wasn't the original target; it was a mistake. But it happened, and oh well, now we got to get past it. And they have a very emotionally charged argument over. She's like, "What you targeted a child, and now you've weakened me because now they're using that against me. That she slays children in their beds."
So that's a Roe versus Wade situation happening on the show.
Could be. It could interpret. Could be a metaphor.
Could be a little metaphor.
So yeah, there's definitely.
I missed. Whoops.
There's definitely an emotional weight that is carried on the show that is not present, I would say, on Rings of Power. It's just Rings of Power just still seems like it's just very. I don't know. Just there's something like we were talking about the Acolyte. There's just something missing with that show. There's not a feeling of emotional heaviness.
Not connecting.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that this show does a good job with it, and I'm very excited about it. And I so far I really like the acting is amazing on it, and the writing is really good. The directing, it's well done. It's well done. Okay. I would highly recommend it to you guys.
I'm thinking about it. I have a way for Rings of Power to fix itself. They have each person who has one of the rings. They all come together, and then they say,
oh my God.
What?
Go ahead.
What? By our powers combined.
I thought that. I knew it. That's what I said. Oh my God.
We bring forth Captain Planet.
Captain Tolkien.
Captain Tolkien.
Captain Tolkien.
Yeah. And then, he saves Middle Earth there.
I love it.
Yeah. I think that...
It's a backdoor pilot for a Captain Planet movie.
Exactly. Exactly.
Speaking of really weird storylines, Doctor Who just finished.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The new season. It ended after 8 episodes. Really well done.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. Yes. I don't know anything about it. Yeah. I mean, I know the premise of it.
Yeah.
But I seeing online this season's been getting a lot of backlash from fans. I've heard because of certain things that were changed, which some of it, if that's the only reason that people are hating on, that's really stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know. What do you think? Yeah.
I thought, I mean, like in terms of like episodes, they're kind of going to like very singular episode storylines. There's kind of a running thread, a big bad that through the course of the 8 episodes, but they're very much singular stories. There's this one that was called 47 Yards. It's probably one of the best Doctor Who stories I've seen in a long time. Like good sci-fi. Like you might really dig it. So I think it's like episode 4 of the season. There's this one called Fine Time, which is really great. Like very like old school Twilight Zone-y, if you will. So yeah, I think this season was really strong. Just really good overall. Like great casting. Yeah.
You like the new Doctor?
I do. Okay. I think he's really good. He's fun. Yet still has a sense of. It's an interesting character to play, and everyone brings their own something different to the character. Right. With Tennant and everything else, there's this kind of like brooding, I'm the last survivor of my people kind of thing. And with this new one, he's very just madman in a box. Let's run around the universe and have fun.
Okay.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope people are watching it this is the first year where BBC has teamed up with Disney and Disney Plus, so like it was dropping episodes on Disney Plus the same day as it was dropping it in England. And
all Doctor Who on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least the modern stuff is on Disney Plus. It used to be on Max as well. So
right.
I think you can see all the stuff up to this last season on Max.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'd say check it out.
Okay. Cool, man. Cool. And then one last thing. I will be at Midsummer Scream this weekend.
Woo woo.
Midsummer Scream is the annual...
Sorry, more. Woo.
There we go. Midsummer Scream is the annual Halloween convention. It's usually held in Long Beach, at the Long Beach Convention Center. You went with me one year,
yes,
Watson?
Yeah. It was a blast.
And Chad doesn't like to go because he didn't like scary shit.
I mean, I'm not a big horror fan. I just don't. I mean, like you'll show me something like it was like, oh look at this, the
shoe.
Look at this shoe from Hellraiser. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty good. I mean, like you want me to lie while I'm there? Oh my God! Oh no, Stan, take a picture of me with this.
Yeah, I do. I would like that.
I mean, that's I'm gonna be spent after one day. I'm gonna be tired.
Is there anything you're looking forward to this year? Or?
Yeah, so every year, different companies that do haunted mazes go, and there's an entire hall just filled with mini mazes. So they'll take their, if a company does a maze like in here in Los Angeles, a major one, they'll kind of condense it down to smaller a mini mazes that can fit in the size. Typically, they say can fit in the size of in a garage. Is typically how they condense it. Some are bigger than that. And you'll just go through it, and they typically have about 8-9 mazes, something like that, from all the different companies that come out. That's because every year they tend to change them. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, last year they had the Blockbuster maze that we loved.
Yeah, they had the Blockbuster maze. They had the Twilight Zone maze. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. So I always look forward to that. and just like every con I go to, I always look forward to people's costumes because some people would come up. I know Chad doesn't give a fuck, but like I'll see.
No, I appreciate people's work into their cosplay costumes and things like that.
But you're gonna be like, oh my god, well that's tight. You're not gonna do that.
Well, no, I don't overdo it. Like, oh, if I recognize it, I'll be like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
something like that. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this over. Like.
Well, if I see a Freddy Krueger / Jason hybrid and be like, oh my god, so fucking cool. That's what
I'll be like, oh, I saw 20 of those. Like, good you guys.
Oh, okay, well
maybe you could do like a Halloween cosplay bingo.
There you go.
That'd be cool.
So
yeah.
You'd be like, okay, we'll find a Chucky, we'll find a Scream,
we'll
find a.
You could dress up. I know you're not a big dress up guy, but you could go.
You have the Scream outfit, right?
I don't.
No,
no, but like he could still do Scream. Just get the sweater that Steve. I mean, not Steve.
Billy Loomis.
No, you could do the white T-shirt for Billy Loomis,
or
the swetter for Matthew Lillard character, and
it's
have
covered
the
in blood.
Yeah.
You get me too deep, man.
And just and that's very simple. You got that, and I think he's wearing jeans or something.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And hey, if I tagged along and if I did the mazes, I want to dress as a rat. So I go through a maze like, where's the cheese? Anybody know?
That's all you be saying all the time. Where's the cheese?
I know you're trying to scam me right now. Where's the cheese? You got cheese? And they'll be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, I'm with this guy. You don't stay.
No, I would be like, nope, I don't know.
You take him this year and he'll dress as a rat.
My name's Rat Boy.
Just wearing Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah. No, I'll dress up as Pack Rat from Batman the Animated Series.
There you go.
Give me all your garbage.
I'm also looking for Roger Jackson will be there, who is the voice of Ghostface Killer. Now the thing is, I don't take a picture with him. I think it's like $80 or something like that, which. Okay,
signing's always better.
So that's the thing about I don't see anything. It's online. You can buy a picture with him, but I'm like, it's Roger Jackson. It's about his voice.
Right, yeah.
I want him to sign a Scream figure I have.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't see anything online about him actually signing things. So I'm like, oh shit, are they going to do pictures? I hope not. I'm going down there Friday.
I'm gonna say you should try and get him to do like your outgoing message on your phone.
I don't think he's going to do that, but yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
Well, like if you think about it this way, like do you have to pay before you're in line, or how's that work?
From what I'm seeing online, you have to pay before. You have to buy the picture, the photo online before you go there.
Oh.
But I don't see any options for autographs because usually they charge separate for that.
Well,
so the only thing I'm thinking, so we're going down there Friday. It starts Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually Fridays are the slower days.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going down there Friday. I got the golden badge, which is the VIP pass.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I'm going to go down there and I'm going to inquire if it's because I don't. Roger Jackson, hats off to you, but I don't care about a picture. Because I want him to sign the Scream thing. The Ghostface.
Was it Creep IE that we did Daredevil?
Yeah.
And like you bought that ahead, like the picture with him, right?
Yeah.
But he still had his own booth, so maybe
that's what I'm thinking too. Like
I think, and Tony Todd had his own.
So Tony Todd is also going to be there.
Yeah.
Which that's who I would pay for take a picture with. And Cassandra is also going to be Cassandra Peterson, who plays. Elvira. Yeah, she's going to be there as well. And I would love to, those are the two I would love to take a picture with.
Yeah, they just came out with the Elvira Pride doll.
That's right.
Which is pretty awesome.
That's right. But Tony Todd, obviously he was Candyman, but he was also in the remake of Night of the Living Dead, which is the first variation of Night of the Living Dead I watched as a kid. Right? Yeah, 1991. And that movie terrified me. And that got me into my zombie lore love.
You know what? I hit the mic. You know what? I would have Tony Todd sign. I would make a replica of the rocket that kills him in The Rock, and have him sign it.
Oh, there you go.
Because you are the Rocket Man. Yeah. And he'll be like, "That's pretty good."
Was he the one that was killed by the rocket? I thought it was somebody else.
No, it was him.
Yeah. Was it?
Because he was chasing Dick Cage around the room, and like this was before the fight with the white guy with the virus balls,
right?
The
VX,
yeah.
The VX balls, yeah.
And but he's like, I'm gonna gut you or something like that. I forget what he says.
Nice string of pearls.
Yeah. And but no, I would do that. And then if I did have and was going, I would also get the talk box that Ghostface uses to change his voice and have him sign that.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Because you could buy those on eBay, like the original. One.
That'd be dope. Yeah. So that's what I'm excited about. I hopefully he's doing the signings and I'll have him sign. So I've never paid for a picture or a signing because I'm just like it's just not my thing. I'm like I'm not really care about pictures or signings, but with him I would. But
So if Edward James Olmos was there, you wouldn't want a picture with Edward James?
Why Edward James Olmos, dude?
Well, no, because I got a picture with Edward James Olmos.
Okay, and
but Edward, you like Battlestar Galactica?
I love Battlestar Galactica.
So
yes, I would get a picture with Edward James Olmos.
There we go.
But I've never mentioned that before, so you just brought that up.
I'm only mentioning it because I got a picture with him.
Because he's Mexican.
No,
but that's but that's why I would get because he's Mexican. Yes, you're right.
I didn't
because I admire him for being a Mexican American.
What are we gonna do with all these kids? I did want to quote that movie to him when I was taking pictures. I was like, nah.
No, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm good.
I'm good.
But he's a cool guy.
Yeah,
he's a cool guy.
No, I would love to take a picture with Aaron James Olmos. Absolutely. If he was there, I'd take a picture with him.
Yeah.
And I almost got a picture with the soup Nazi guy, but he was charging too much. And I was like, no.
Really? How much is he charging?
It was like, I don't know, $70 or something. I was like, come on.
Come on.
I was like, come on, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I think Roger Jackson's charging 75 or 80, something like that, for a picture. I mean, hopefully his signing is like $60 or something like that. You know, hopefully he's doing signings.
Maybe he'll whisper sweet nothings into your ear.
Maybe he will.
Take that picture.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that. I might take a picture of Tony Todd because again, he was in Night of the Living Dead, and that's so good.
He's fantastic.
So he was in Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, so good.
I would have him if I had Spider-Man 2 on video game. I would have him sign the copy.
Oh yeah,
because he's Venom.
That's right. Anything else, guys?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No. Take us out, Chad.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for listening to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. If you're not doing it already, please like, subscribe, comment, berate us with love or hate. We'll take either, as you will know so well.
And don't forget to rate and review.
Yes, please.
It helps us on the Apple Podcatchers and
create multiple accounts to rate us over and over and over again. And as they say in the Old West and the Cave of Wonders,
enter the Nerdom, exit. Something that I was going to say, but I don't remember now.
That's a good Dr. Claw.
There's more Cave of Wonders, but yeah. I mean, that is a great Dr. Claw, too.
No, that's Dr. Claw.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.